वेलकम टू टुडे स्ट्रीम। और 3 दिन बाकी है रायसली के लिए। फार्मिंग चालू है। अब देखते क्या करने हैं आज तो हम हैंगआउट्स करेंगे। वही है दिमाग में अभी फिलहाल तो। बाकी का देखा जाएगा। मिलाए
Live.
मिलाए।
Okay. My phone hot as my girlfriend.
डेम ब्रो। आज क्या करना? I forgot।
आज आज
आज
आपको मेरा
हैंगआउट्स करना
वो
है।
करना है डेली।
आज हैंगआउट्स करना है। ये वीकली करना। मैं क्या कंटेंट्स बनाने देता है।
आज क्या फ्राइडे हो? हाँ।
आई हैव
हेलो
152 रेजेंट। आफ्टर स्ट्रीम शुरू
तो
है तो ये देख ले। ठीक है, कॉल पे जा रहे हो तो म्यूट डिफरेंस चल जाए।
क्या कह रहा है?
स्ट्रीम पे है, कॉल पे जा रहा है तो म्यूट डिफरेंस भाग जा।
अभी नहीं है, कॉल पे हटा दिया।
जब जाएगा तब बोला।
ओके।
कौन कॉल पे जा रहा है? कहाँ कॉल पे जा रहा है?
ये जाता ना ये चीचा।
अच्छा, आपका सब
भाई
चीज हो गया अब तब।
ये नहीं सुधरने वाला है। ये आफ्ताब अभी नहीं सुधरेगा। ये नहीं सुधरने वाला है। ये नहीं सुधरने वाला है तुम बोलते हैं।
अरे किस
अरे
चीज के लिए?
वो फोन देख रहा है,
किस
फोन
चीज
पे
में?
फोन देख रहा है। अभी एक नया फोन ले लिया है, ऑर्डर कर दिया है। उसके बावजूद और फोन देख रहा है।
क्यों?
तो वही तो बोला, इसलिए बोला
किस
ना ये
मौके
नहीं
पे लगे
सुधरने
हैं?
वाला है।
225 है।
अबे तुझे फोन ले तो लिया, कौन सा फोन ऑर्डर किया पर?
वही वाला।
नो, मैंने मेरे लिए नहीं किया,
आ
किसके
जाओ
लिए
देख
किया
लेंगे।
फिर?
किसी के लिए,
हैं?
प्रीति के लिए।
टू टू बाय।
अफरीदी के लिए? अच्छा। अब वो बीच में खेलेगा
नहीं
डीजे
फिर?
में खेलेगा,
वो
आफ्ताब खुद ही ले लेगा।
नहीं नहीं, वो भाई नहीं है भोपाल में, क्या खेलेगा भोपाल?
जाके अरे ऑर्डर क्या, एड्रेस उसके
अब
इधर है
तू
ना।
खेलेगा? आगे बात समझ।
हाँ पता है, खेलेगा।
हाँ तू खेलेगा अब।
तो इस प्रोसेस है, धीमे करेंगे।
स्ट्रीम अटक रहा नहीं है ना।
पता नहीं, आपकी स्ट्रीम की क्वालिटी गिरती है जब काम करते हो कोई भी, मतलब बीच बीच में गिरती है क्वालिटी। वीडियो
नहीं
में
तो
भी गिरी थी।
वीपीएन कनेक्टेड है ना तो। जेंशिन के
मैं
लिए
तो
तो
आपको
उसके
बोल
कारण
रहा
ऊपर
हूँ,
नीचे ऊपर नीचे
अमेरिका की
होता है।
आईडी एक बना के उस पर वो करना शुरू कर दो।
किसमें?
अमेरिका की एक आईडी बना लो ना।
तो मेरे को
पिंग भी
सब
आएगा
रीजन
चार
खोल के
पांच
दे
का।
दे, तब मैं जाके करेगा।
मैं सारे रीजन खोल के दूँ? शर्म आ रही है आपको? आपको स्ट्रीम को कंटेंट
ऑब्वियसली
बन
मैं
रहा
क्यों करेगा मैं।
है। Chemical flask by the right hand। अरे आपको स्ट्रीम के लिए करने को मिल जाए, स्ट्रीम करने को मिल जाएगा। और दूसरा आपका पिंग आ जाएगा और आपका स्ट्रीम अच्छा हो जाएगा। और क्या चाहिए?
फिलहाल जो है डाई जो बस।
और इसको आप तब खेल लेना जब आप ऑफ स्ट्रीम हो। क्या हो गया?
कोई बात नहीं।
साथ में नई आईडी बनाने को मिल जाएगी।
व्हाट्स अप बॉय, क्या हाल है जैन?
ए हे
हे बोल रहा है तो।
ते नांदायो।
नांदायो ये। ऊपर है नीचे ऊपर है।
ए हे
मुझे
51
लगता
से
है मुझे कर रहा है, गंदी गंदी बातें कर रहा है।
लेकर
नहीं बात है जैन, हे ते नांदायो।
पता नहीं सबको क्यों आवाज।
3 दिन के
क्या?
बाद ये होगा।
ये
ब्लैक स्क्रीन
सबको ये
होता रहेगा
आवाज
पता
याद
नहीं
है।
कितना।
कब?
3 दिन के
क्या
बाद
बोल रहा है?
ब्लैक स्क्रीन होता रहेगा।
किसका? अरे हाँ, सैनपाई की आईडी में सिद्धार्थ टॉप अप कर रहा था $200 का।
क्यों?
राइथेसली और उसका वेपन और वो वेंटी उसका वेपन और वेंटी।
नहीं नहीं नहीं, वेंटी का वेपन नहीं जाएगा, C1 राइसली जाएगा।
तो
और
वेंटी का
उसके लिए
वेपन तो विंड ब्लू मोड है, पर तो अच्छी बात है। विंड ब्लू मोड नहीं, कौन
एलएजी
था
ऑफ द
वो?
एंड सुना है?
एलएजी ऑफ द एंड, हाँ एलएजी ऑफ द एंड 5 स्टार वेपन उसका, वो तो बहुत अच्छा वेपन है।
वो
गाने के
ब्रोकन
लिए
है
भी
वो
कर
अलग
सकता है।
बात है, बट मेरे को
हाँ
क्या,
तो बस तो फिर
अरे आई एम फ्री टू प्लेयर,
डांसरी
हम
वेपन पे चले
फैल्स यूज
जाना।
कर देंगे।
नहीं नहीं नहीं, अरे तो वो ओवरऑल आईडी के लिए अच्छा वेपन है ना कि सिर्फ वेंटी के लिए।
अरे वो ओवरऑल नहीं, बो पे जो जैसे रीरन का इनगल्फिंग है ना, वैसे बो पे वो है एलजी है।
हाँ बस बस।
लेकिन सेनपाई को कौन बताए?
अरे मान जाएंगे, अपने आप पुल करेंगे।
अबे सेनपाई थोड़ी ना पुल करेगा, तेरे को पता है वेंटी सेनपाई पुल करेगा, बाकी का जो रहेगा ना सिद्धार्थ निकाल के दे देगा। सिद्धार्थ
अब
बोलेगा
तो
पता
भाई
नहीं चला,
सिद्धार्थ
बस
को
निकल
बोल
गया सारा, पता नहीं 200 पर मुंह में किससे निकल गया।
$200 में।
200 पर मुंह में थोड़ी ना सेनपाई को डॉलर दिखेगा।
हाँ वो भी है।
अगर डॉलर दिखेगा तो सिद्धार्थ कुटेगा नहीं सेनपाई से।
हाँ सर सही बोला, तो F2PM है।
星と深淵を無事今日の依頼を
Then be like F2P है ना सब।
星と深
कौन से F2P कौन से गांव का?
ये है भाई, यही गाँव है, यही गाँव है। नहीं फ्री टू प्ले क्या बोल रहा है, स्पेलिंग भूल गया क्या, एब्रिविएशंस भूल गया ना शायद।
फ्री टू प्ले नहीं, फोर्स टू पे।
एब्रिविएशंस भूल गए।
Forced you to play, forced you to free to play.
नहीं नहीं, कुछ ज्यादा ही गलत हो रहा है।
ड्रॉप डाउन।
अकेला वीकली करूँ क्या?
आना है क्या?
नहीं आ रहा है क्या?
आ रहा ना,
और क्या
आपने
आ गया
बोला
ना?
नहीं।
153
आपने बोला
है।
वो, हाँ आपने 153 बोला था।
यार मेरा पता नहीं कहीं मन है कि भाई मैं वो निकाल लूं।
क्या निकालूं?
वेंटी।
वेंटी लेगा अकाउंट पे भाई तो बर्बाद है। कुछ तेरे टीम कॉम्प भी नहीं बनेगा। एक तो जो भी तेरे को टीम कॉम्प चाहिए आएगा के साथ तो बन रहा है। काजुआ चाहिए तेरे को, ग्राउंड लेवल पे रखना है, ऊपर लेवल पे मारने के लिए कौन है तेरे पास? गानियो है नहीं, योइमिया है नहीं।
हाँ ये और
अपना ये न्यूबलाइट है वो भी नहीं।
भैया मैं तो ट्राई किया ना, मेरी थोड़ी
हाँ
गलती।
यार वो गलती नहीं है।
साला मेरा स्ट्रीक भी टूट गया।
टूट गया, स्ट्रीक टूट गया।
भाई इसका स्ट्रीक टूटा, मेरा मुनाफा होगा।
दुख इस बात का है कि स्ट्रीक टूट गया, ना कि इस बात पे कि पिटी हार गया।
भाई
और पिटी हारा भी तो किसने चीन।
असर तू 3.1 से स्ट्रीक लगाए बैठा है जब से उससे नारी निकाला।
मैं पुल करूंगा राइट
नहीं,
से,
जीरो
करो
से।
भाई, हम भी कर रहे हैं।
भाई 3.0 से 3.0 से 4.0 तक चली गई, खत्म।
बस ना, इतना स्ट्रिक तो काफी होता है।
ना
ओए डोडो
बस
का वाला
करने
इवेंट
दे
खत्म
यार।
होने वाला है
कौन सा?
में आ गया।
क्या ना, सबसे
कौन
बेकार
सा वाला
गंदा
इवेंट खत्म होने वाला है?
वाहियात इवेंट।
ये वाला ना जो इसके अंदर आपको फोड़ने होते हैं बबल बबल।
हाँ वही है,
तुमने कर लिया है।
वाहियात इवेंट जा रहा है। अभी कौन सा आएगा? अभी तो फ्लैगशिप इवेंट चालू है ना, फ्लैगशिप के बाद एक फाइटिंग इवेंट आएगा।
ओहो,
अरे कॉम्बैक्ट इवेंट ज्यादा करो यार, एक पैच होने दे जिसमें सिर्फ कॉम्बैक्ट इवेंट हो।
एंड पे कह रहा है आई विल आउटशाइन माय पीयर्स प्लैटिनम।
सब प्लैटिनम लेके आएगा।
अरे आने वाला ना राइथेसली वाला एक आ रहा है जिसमें राइथेसली का लोगो।
राइथेसली नहीं होता, वो राइजली होता है। शट अप।
अरे जिसको जैसा स्पेल करेगा वो वैसा करेगा ना। हाँ? इंडियन से क्या बोल सकते थे।
भाई हम लोग सही प्रोनाउंस नहीं करते, कुछ भी हो जाए।
तेरे को फिर गधा बोलना शुरू कर दूं मैं?
ऊपर से मैं हूँ भाई, मैं तो ना
सर न्यूबलाइट को कैसा बोलेगा तू?
नेविलाइट।
बट वो न्यूबलाइट है ना?
न्यूबलाइट है वो।
हाँ न्यूबलाइट।
न्यूबलाइट
नहीं, न्यू विलेट ही बोलते हैं, गेम
मोशियर
में भी न्यू विलेट ही बोला है।
नहीं, मोशियर
हाँ तो
न्यूबिलेट
मॉन्सियोर न्यू विलेट है ना कि
फ्रांस
न्यू
वाले का
विलेट।
स्पेलिंग अलग है, फ्रांस वाले न्यूबिलेट बोलते हैं।
यहाँ पे हम लोग फ्रांस से है ना।
वाटर बॉर्न पोएट्री।
क्या आलो की तरह थोड़ी ना कामयाब में आलो भक्ति की।
भाई आलोक होता तो सीधे बोलता कामयाब में।
ये भी ठीक है।
भाई सीधा हो गया। 10 पे मैं लोडिंग स्क्रीन में हूँ।
ना लोडिंग स्क्रीन भाई किधर है?
हाँ,
मैं भी आ रहा हूँ। वेट।
ओ सर इस ऑनलाइन और ऑफलाइन है। अच्छा शोर नहीं है ना।
शोर तो भी स्ट्रीम कर रहा ना माइनक्राफ्ट। मैं कैब दुबई में 2-3 दिन से कैब डाऊंगा।
इतना अच्छा सेविंग पॉइंट पे मैं बोलो
किसके वर्ल्ड में?
मेरे में
メルジーヌはフォンテーヌが誇る美しき生命体だ。彼女らとは良い関係を築くといい。決して傷つけたりしないように。
बड़े लोग अरे बड़े लोग डोंट बी लाइक बड़े लोग।
हम बड़े लोग हैं, हम बहुत बड़े लोग हैं।
अच्छा सेविंग पॉइंट
हाँ ये क्या होता है? ये कुछ नहीं होता। That is not a saving point.
दिस इज अ सेविंग पॉइंट, इमरजेंसी सेविंग पॉइंट है ये। फोन वाले लोग के लिए बहुत काम का है। हाँ फोन वाले लोग के लिए बहुत काम का है ये।
मैंने R7 बेल है, शर्म आ रही है मुझे, शर्म आ रही है भाई बहुत ज्यादा।
R7 बेल भाई मेरे को बेल गिनना भी नहीं मेरे को कितना।
यार मैंने यार अपने सारे कैटलिस्ट वाले वो वेस्ट कर दिए। ठीक
तूने R5 फवोनियस सॉर्ड उड़ाया, मैं देखा भाई ऑन स्ट्रीम दिखाया था तूने।
अब वो तो चलो ठीक है ना,
वो ठीक है। अच्छा जी
डजंट मैटर आ जाएगी नहीं। और R3 तो अभी भी पड़ी है
भाई, ऊपर से भाई उसको लेवल अप करके उड़ाया।
मेरे को R11 बेल है भाई, नहीं खेलना है गेम नहीं।
कौन सा
नहीं आ रहा?
एपेप
असर नहीं आता तो क्यों फार्म करना है? क्यों फार्म करना है?
राइस के लिए चाहिए।
実に有縁な
न्यू विलेट के लिए चाहिए होता था। अरे मैं दुख
モンドの水は清く澄んで
ओए ना फुल सोलर ये तो इस पे भी लगेगा।
मत दिखाओ मुझे कैरेक्टर ब्लेजिसान।
稲妻の水
और
は
रियो खाई
スメールの水は複雑でしっかりと舌で味わう必要がある。
आफ्टर तो गाने चला सकता है, ऐसा कुछ नहीं।
गाने है नहीं,
गाने है नहीं। रेजिस्टेंस टू इंटरप्शन के लिए देख मैं तेरे को ये दे देगा, दिया दे देगा।
अरे हम नहीं चलाएगा फिर भी, आपको पता है ना काहे भाई।
कार्ड में तो भाई हीलर नहीं चाहिए। रेडी मार मार रेडी मार रेडी मार। कौन रेडी नहीं है? तू क्यों हीलर क्यों नहीं? हीलर क्यों चाहिए? जोंगली है
तो क्या लूं?
आया या ले ले।
शील्ड प्रोवाइड कर, शील्ड प्रो चला है।
फ्रीज तो हो जाएगा, रुक जा मेरे को इसको फैब्स देना पड़ेगा। इंजन से चुरा रहे, किसी ने कुछ नहीं देखा।
刀は技を芝生に寝転がると巧み
बस भाई कितना जापानीज हो
ज्यादा ही हो रहा था।
एक बार में सब जापानीज बोलना शुरू कर देंगे। यार मुझे न्यू विलेट चाहिए था, हार गया।
तो पुल नहीं किया, बहुत अच्छा है।
क्यों?
मैं खुद क्यों पुल किया वैसे वैसा है।
हैं?
आई एम लाइक व्हाई डिड आई पुल?
बाय। हेलो
यस हेलो।
मेरे को टीपी कराओ ना फिर।
कहाँ है?
आ रहा हूँ।
इसका आवाज बैटल बॉस बहुत सही आवाज है।
हाँ इसकी आवाज सही है, म्यूजिक साउंड
हाँ
अच्छा
बहुत
है।
सही है। थीम म्यूजिक बहुत बढ़िया बना है। इसका स्कारा का
ऐसा
दोनों
करो
सही
चलो।
था। रस्सी से बांधो।
उठा दिया।
वापस बांधो। और कौन है?
मेरा काम नहीं कर रहा।
बहुत काम नहीं कर रहा है। हेलो खाई दे रखा है।
हाउस काम नहीं कर रहा।
खाई दे रहा, धोखा दे रहा, ठीक है।
हाइड्रस वाला।
इससे तो मेरे को ज्यादा में बफ मिल रहा है।
हाँ भाई हेलो।
अब वाई हेलो का मतलब क्या होता है? वाई कांट आई गेट बफ? हाँ
नहीं मैं पूछ रहा था कहाँ हो भाई। यार स्टैमिना ही नहीं है, स्टैमिना प्रॉब्लम्स।
अरे ऑल टाइम
स्टैमिना सो।
सब पे शील्ड है ना?
हाँ ठीक है।
पक्का?
अबे क्राइस वाल हो गया, जल्दी से अपने बुक करो।
कहाँ गया? ए डाल डॉज करता है बॉट।
इज गुड गाय।
भाई आपका सील टेस्टिंग होगी अब।
ए शील्ड टूट जाएगा, मत जा। शील्ड टूट जाएगा। वो नहीं टूटा। व्हाट?
किसका नहीं टूटा? मतलब आप खुद बाहर थे क्या?
भाई मेरा अल्ट बॉट। हेलो अल्ट। अरे पिछली थ्रेशोल्ड लिमिट रीच्ड। हेलो
पिछली हफ्ते करा नहीं था, मंडे को भूल गया क्या?
मैं मंडे को करा था क्या?
ज़ेन हंस रहा है असर लॉल करके। अरे हाँ तू बोला था ना तेरा चंक वगैरह सब निकल रहा था करके, इतना ये आर्टिफैक्ट फेदर वगैरह ये सब निकल रहा करके बोला था ना। डबल क्रेड वगैरह बोल रहा था ना।
हाँ वो डबल क्रेड वाले निकले थे, बेकार चले गए थे, अलग बात है।
असर भी लाइक भाई तो फिर मेरा कैप टियर ऐसे क्या करूं?
देखना पड़ेगा मुझे मेरे है सही या नहीं।
विगो स्कारा
नहीं वेट।
विगो स्कारा एंड आई किक यू गाइस देन। दीवार है अकेले तो मारना।
यासी
तो मैंने है दो हैं, मैंने एक सिर्फ वही मारा था, एपीएफ ही मारा था।
सिर्फ एक पे
हां
मार।
तो सन पे सॉरी
डिक्लाइन मार दिया बस हो गया। नहीं 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 अब तो चलेगा अच्छा। आफ्ताब ने डिक्लाइन मार दिया बढ़ जा। ओके न्यू न्यूरोलाइट।
Please don't stream. Let me see that shit. Piece of shit character. It come into my ID
刀
bitch.
は技を支え
क्या फ्रीज
革
खेलना
命
है?
は宝を有す
बताओ।
तो बोल ही दो।
मैं तो
नहीं खेल लेंगे, ऐसा कोई दिक्कत नहीं है। जो है वही फ्रीज रख। आखिरी कैरेक्टर की तरह मेरा लेला की तरह
हेलो शील्ड चाहिए
है ना। अबे एक खाई दे रहा फट बाढ़ में जा।
この
बैठ
अरे नहीं काज कायदे आ रहे इसका
गान
डैमेज
ये
बहुत
ले।
ज्यादा है।
ですが
गान यू लो।
私って欲張
चलो
り
चलो शुरू करो
गान ये उठा।
लेट्स गो
गान ये उठा।
लेट्स गो
लेट्स गो नहीं आता है कब तक गान ये उठा।
लेट्स गो।
आया का शो की सो रही
मेरे क्या याद अभी।
ये सुन ना, असल गानी कल पे तेरे को फायदा होगा लेकिन।
हाँ एक्स्ट्रा 20% डैमेज बोनस
15%।
मेरा ऊपर से शर्मा
15%।
4 पीस नूबलेस पे। और ये
Damage।
लेला ऊपर से टेनासिटी में और डैमेज।
डैमेज।
शैडो
ओए वेट करो। ज़ेन बोल रहा है असर बिग पीपी डैमेज।
एम जाएगा।
क्या हुआ?
邪魔しない
डील
व्हाट हील? अरे तो आफ्टर तू ब्लू वाला और प्ले। ब्लू वाला और प्ले। आफ्टर ब्लू वाला पे डाल।
完成いや
पर डैमेज किसको चाहिए?
मर गया।
आफ्टर ब्लू और
काहे
दिया।
का हां लिया। फुल एचपी होगा हम। मेरे पे ट्रिगर मत होना बस। वो क्या डोज
एरो भाई क्या गया तो?
अरे तो को
अच्छा क्या टैंक कर पाएगा? यस लीला के
नहीं कर
टैंक
पाया,
और नहीं कर पाया।
मैंने नहीं कर पाया।
अरे वो वेव बोला था मैं।
लैग
व्हाट लैग?
लैग मींस लैग चीटिंग। अरे टीपी हुई है एक बार। भाई मैं ही मार सकता तुम लोग। भाई क्या डॉज हो रहा है। भाई यारो देखो क्या डॉज हो रहा है।
मैं टैंक कर
ओ,
पा रहा, तुम लोग कैसे टैंक नहीं कर?
मेरे को हील करना।
हील कर ले।
मारेगा तो नहीं।
शील्ड दे दिया। आफ्ताब पे जा रहे, आफ्ताब पे जा रहे, आफ्ताब पे जा रहे, आफ्ताब पे जा रहे। बंदा कोची में हील कर रहा, आफ्ताब पे जा रहे।
हेलो
मारो मारो। I'll collect. You guys beat it.
अलर्ट मार।
वो मैं कहाँ मार दिया? मैं कहाँ मार दिया? और रुक शेनहा अल्ट पे मार, रुक जा पहला गानी अल्ट कर।
अरे मी कमिंग वेट।
कम ऑन गान अल्ट मार मार।
ठीक है लाओ।
ओ
जानिए
55 के टिक भाई, 55
अबे
के
60
टिक।
के
हेलो
गया था स्ट्रीम पे, देखो 60
हाँ
के गया था।
60 के टिक क्या था भाई, कसम से। हेलो
मेरा सिग्नल डैमेज कितना था?
हाँ मैं देखा, अब तब देखा 74 के क्या था, एक शॉट शॉट।
अबे अल्ट वो साइड पे जो उसका एरो वाला था ना वो बन के गया था।
आई गॉट ड्रीम सॉल्वेंट। सिक्सटी के टिक गया था, आफ्ताब का 74 के 4 शॉट गया था।
तो सेन भाई हवन के गया था।
हाँ भाई पहला वाला 74 देखा, दूसरा वाला 100 नहीं देखा मैं।
100 नहीं देखा स्ट्रीम पे देना पर
देखना पड़ेगा, स्ट्रीम रिवाइंड करके देखना पड़ेगा। अभी मेरे को 30 तेरा अभी को मारा 80।
दे मेरे को एक और वीकली करना।
कौन है? डिवालिन कर ले, शर्मा मत। डिवालिन नहीं कर रहे थे। शोगन मारना है, सिन्योरा मारना है।
हाँ मान लो सुगन सामा।
मैं तो बोलते इजडा मारता, पता नहीं उसको मिलके कितना साल हो गया।
तो आपको भी कलेक्ट करना पड़ेगा।
मैं नहीं करेगा ना, मेरे को डिवालिन चाहिए। क्या बोल रहा था?
ये मार ले।
अच्छा ये
एक
गलत
काम
बात
कर,
होता है।
मैं भी डिवालिन मार लेगा ठीक है।
भाग गया। इलेक्ट्रो और हाइड्रो है। हाँ?
नहीं मैं नहीं कलेक्ट करेगा। हेलो
क्यों नहीं करेगा? शोगन चाहिए तेरे को?
नहीं मैं वो कर लेगा, वो भी एसडा ही मार लेगा।
तो एजडा ही है ये।
एसडा नहीं वो डिवालिन। फ्यूचर में करिए, फ्यूचर के
तो फिर रुक जा, वेट कर। तो फिर ये आ जा।
彼女らとは良い関係を
और
築くといい
भाई आपको पता है ना मैं कहाँ पर हूँ?
कहाँ? दुकान पे?
हैं? नहीं हो?
घर पे?
नहीं ऑफिस में।
तो मैं वही तो बोला, तेरे बैकग्राउंड पे आवाज भी आ रहा है।
पलीटो का आवाज आ रहा?
हाँ वही तो बोला, आवाज आ रहा है, स्ट्रीम पे भी जा रहा है।
जैन लोग कुछ नहीं बोल रहा है, ये कहाँ से चटापट चल रही है।
कुछ नहीं बोल रहे अभी तो फिलहाल तो।
है ही नहीं है शायद।
है ज़ेन है।
これが旅人さんの普段の暮らしですか。またあなたに少し近づけた気がします。
ये नहीं देना हट। तुम लोग बड़ी शौक में हो ना ये।
देन पूछ रहा है पीछे का आवाज कौन है। हाँ भाई दोनों बेनेट बहुत बढ़िया।
刀は技を支
मेरे को बेनेट लेने से नहीं रोक सकता कोई।
ओ मैं लाइफ सपोर्ट पे व्हाट।
मैं हील दे देगा लाइफ सपोर्ट में। मत करो फूड यूज, मैं हील दे देगा। बंदिया तरह ना एक कंडेंस ही ये लो इन 50 के 60 के एमपी 60 के दिखा असर तो आपकी
24 ज्यादा।
50 51 हो जाएगी 48 48 सन पे ये 4 टीम डैमेज देता बस मारा से बस
भी कनेक्ट कर रहा है कुछ पीस
गंदा वाल जब रेडी ना करे उसको बैन मारो। बेसी आजा मारो ना
अरे यार एलिमेंटल मास्टरी हाँ
वृंदावन
भाग गया
हाँ और रन है क्या
कर रहा ना
बोला नहीं
तो डिक्लेयर मारता
मी गोइंग
गोइंग एक रन है आखिरी पक्का नहीं आ रहा है
इसलिए क्योंकि नहीं आ पाएगा
चल ठीक है बाद में कभी आएगा वीसी
रात में
芝生に寝転がると大地の鼓動が聞こえてきます。よっ。手加減なしだぜ。それ、そこ。
もみちが
冒険だ冒険。
散らまく惜しみか
はあ、食いしばれよ。
風
よっ。全力攻撃だ。
風の赴くままに風の雲の行くごと風をし
よっ。燃えろ。せっ。よっ。
静粛に
怖くない。
हैंगआउट करते हैं। हाँ, उससे पहले एक और आइटम हुआ है।
岩山八九剣女盤石
見切りました。
ここか
Okay. Time for bang out quest.
Even though most of the academia's restrictions have significantly relaxed, I'm still a bit worried that the Matra might give her trouble. I need to stay here to keep an eye on the situation. Kale, can you head to Sumeru City and find out why she isn't here yet?
Does it have to be me?
I'd only assign a job this important to someone I trust. Are you not feeling well?
Oh no, I'm fine. I've completely recovered. It's just that if I'm going to see her, I think I need to mentally prepare myself first.
I know. You'll have a tough time if you go by yourself. If we could arrange for someone to accompany you...
Oh, hey there!
It's been a while. What a coincidence. I was just thinking about asking you to accompany Kale to Sumeru City. Sorry, that's not what I meant. It's just that this matter concerns research banned by the academia. Not the sort of thing you'd shout from the rooftops. Also, you happen to know about this situation. There are very few people I can trust to be discreet right now. After giving it much thought, I believe you're the most suitable person for this task. It's complicated, and this isn't the best place to talk about it. We'll fill you in on the details once she arrives. You might have heard about her in Sumeru before. Her name is Farazan, and she's a very experienced senior researcher. Let's just say that a huge part of Kasharawar's mechanical research over the past 100 years has used her academic discourse and manuscripts as their foundation. She is, but she vanished for 100 years because of a certain incident. She only returned to the academia after being found in the wilderness a few years ago. Because of that, her current personality can be a bit, strange, as is her attitude towards Kale.
I'm getting a headache just thinking about it.
She doesn't have bad intentions, so you don't have to be scared.
I'll try.
Yes. Kasharawar and Spontamod researchers are often quite prejudiced, so I can't trust them with this matter. However, Farazan isn't influenced by modern thinking. In our previous correspondence through letters, she indicated that she'd be willing to help. It's already past our arranged meeting time, but she still hasn't shown up. I don't think so. With her personality, it's more likely that she got wrapped up in some sort of trouble. Anyway, can you go with Kale to the academia and check on Farazan for me?
Thank goodness. I was so anxious.
I'm counting on you two. Kale, don't push yourself too hard. Just go there and see what's going on. Our task is important, but not that urgent. If Farazan really is in some trouble, come back and tell me about it. We can always reschedule our meeting. After all, if she's distracted by other things, it'll affect her ability to help us.
All right, let's go!
Oh yes, and one more thing. You might find her difficult to get along with at first. However, if you address her as Madam, she'll become much easier to talk to.
Sorry, what did you say? Oh, could you repeat yourself? As you know, I'm sure, hearing goes with age.
Farzan, I said that you need to give us an answer.
Yes. And did you forget to add Madam when you addressed me earlier?
Your hearing is perfectly fine. Madam Farzan, we don't want to make things difficult for you. However, you haven't been teaching courses or supervising theses these past few years. Isn't this rather problematic as an advisor? Never mind the students. Even other advisors are starting to complain.
And who, if I may ask, complained? If they have any issue with me, tell them to talk to me themselves rather than waste any of your time. You don't have to tell me anything.
I very well know that it's those people from Wriotheseley. How I wish they'd put their time into doing proper research instead.
But, Madame Farazan, it has been a long while since you last made any practical academic contribution yourself.
Academic contribution cannot simply be divided between the tangible and the intangible. The issue here, I believe, is that the reviewer doesn't understand the very nature of knowledge itself. In any case, it makes no sense to use a metric like this to evaluate a mentor. Which sage set this rule anyway? I should write a letter of complaint right this instant.
Wait! Madame Farazan, please let me finish.
That's her, alright. But the person with her doesn't look like a Matra. Shh! She hates it when people call her young! Her body apparently stopped aging during the year she was gone. So that's why she looks the same as she did 100 years ago. Okay, I think I'm ready for this. Let's go!
Anyway, Akara Crafts and the leader of Ksharawar would like to invite you to collaborate on this project. They're wondering if you'd be interested. Madame Farazan? Are you listening?
Mm-hmm. Ah, Kale! Why are you here at the Academia? Are you feeling better now?
I'm much better, Madame Farazan. It's all thanks to the Traveler and the Dendro Archon.
Have you been sleeping well? You seem to be developing some eye bags. Is that brat Tainari forcing you to stay up late again?
Tainari को brat बोलते हैं.
No, it's because I'm a slow learner. It's not Master's fault.
It's good to be hardworking, but you need to take care of your health. I'll have to give Tainari a right talking to when I see him. I'll also prepare some health supplements for you.
There's really no need.
Ah, and is the person beside you the legendary Traveler? Oh, I've heard much about you before. In fact, I've been meaning to meet you for a while now. It is thanks to you, after all, that the Academia is finally getting back on its feet. Even Kali's illness is...
Ahem. Madame Farazan, I believe we were still discussing the collaboration with Akara Crafts.
I'd wager it's those Ksharawar dunderheads finding excuses so that I'd go to their darshan. Say no more. I have no plans to change my field of research.
If you're this unwilling to participate in the collaborative project, you can also consider teaching a class. It might be difficult to teach a course with topics that only fall within Wriotheseley's subjects, but we can't delay this anymore. You need to give an answer. You can teach a course or participate in a collaborative project. If you don't do either, it'll be hard for me to persuade the advisors and students who have been complaining.
Could you not give me a few more days to consider? This matter has been delayed for so long already.
That's precisely the issue. If you don't give an answer today, I fear that someone will soon escalate their complaints to the sages.
What a waste of free time these folks are. Now you two are here at Tainari's behest, I take it. I'm sorry, but given the current situation, it looks like I'll have to come over some other day. Of course. I shall need some time to think as well.
What now? She seems so busy. Master said there's no rush, but I know that he's been busy working on something at Paradise DI, so he hasn't returned to Gandharville for several days now. I feel for Madame Farazan, but I still want to ask her to come with us. But if I get her in trouble with the Academia, then she won't have the time to help Master. What should I do? Oh, this is such a headache. Yeah, that would be the best for them both. I'll check with Master later and see if there's anything I can help him with. But I'm sure he'll say, the best thing you can do now is study hard, so I don't have to give you remedial lessons. Huh? Oh yes! This way she can get her problem sorted out quickly, and then she can go see Master. So if I also stay and help... that still sounds kinda... Okay then. I'm counting on you.
तो गैर पे छोड़ देके भाग जाएगी सही में.
I have to teach students from Wriotheseley or owe Ksharawar a favor. It strikes me that they might be even less happy about such a deal than I am.
I think I can sympathize with them.
We're back, Madame Farazan. traveler said that he can stay and help you.
Oh, why I couldn't ask for more. In fact, I'm rather curious about the type of person the traveler is. You were the one who taught Azara a lesson after all. That said, will I be troubling you? Is that so? Good. It does so happen that I do have something I need help with. Now, should I apply to teach a course with Wriotheseley, or join the collaborative project that Ksharawar is proposing? Honestly, I don't want to choose either of them. I don't know if Tainari's told you about this before, but while my research involves learning about ruins and the mechanisms within them, I don't belong to Ksharawar, which specializes in researching mechanisms. Nor am I in Spontamod, which specializes in researching energy flow. Instead, I'm part of Wriotheseley, which specializes in languages and scripts.
She has been invited to Ksharawar multiple times to continue her research, but she's rejected them each time.
Just listen to how they introduce themselves. In the future, Ksharawar will be the only Darshan with the ability to research mechanisms.
Hey,
There's no such thing as exclusivity in knowledge. Besides, the current Ksharawar is more concerned about how mechanisms can be used in
Ksharawar
everyday
to Kaveh
life,
wala na.
while my research involves textual analysis of ruins. If they're trying to use the collaborative project as an excuse to have me reconsider again,
No, that's not it. The request this time is from Akara Crafts. The representative of Ksharawar recommended you to them, Madame Farazan. In truth, she told me that it's because she respects you a lot.
oh, respect? Oh my. Putting aside my ideological differences with Ksharawar, I suppose I must acknowledge this attitude of theirs. At the very least, they're bounds above those decrepit Wriotheseley fools.
Yeah, Akara Crafts is a pretty nice shop.
Well, since both of you feel as such, I shall first hear this proposal.
In summary, Akara Crafts wants to design a series of early learning toys that will cultivate curiosity and learning in children.
Early learning toys. Interesting.
The academia agreed to work with them because they hope that these toys can help children become excellent researchers in the future.
True. The current academia is in need of some new blood. If the children start learning now, perhaps I can find some talented students in a few years.
Madame Farazan, you still haven't found any students?
Anise, Kasharawar's representative, should be staying in the inn at Port Ormos. If you want more details, you can find her there.
Port Ormos? Now there's a place I haven't been to in a long time. I wonder how much it's changed.
I probably can't join you since Port Ormos is a little far from here. I should probably go back and report to Master, and then review today's homework.
No worries. Go do your homework, Kale. Once I'm done with everything here, I'll head over to Pardistii. Thank you. Why, I'd even call this a rare chance for a curious researcher like myself to observe the legendary traveler up close.
लेजेंडरी हम क्या किया है ट्रैवलर को बेंच मार के रखा है ये जो कैरेक्टर्स है वो यूज कर रहे हैं हम लोग we are using only gacha system यार
Madame Farazan! Oh, it's really you. Did you change your mind?
All right, calm down. Let me be clear. I'm still not all that interested in Ksharawar. I'm just here to see how the project is going. After all, you're here as representatives of the academia in this collaboration. The reputation of all research is at stake here, so I will not simply stand by should mistakes get made.
Either way, it's good that you were willing to come. Now, we've given Akara Crafts many ideas over the past couple of days. However, their owner thinks that our designs are too complicated, which will drive production costs too far up.
That's expected. Students who have never had to deal with budgetary constraints probably don't understand how important it is to keep costs low. How enviable. Oh,
If you join the Ksharawar, your budget will be as big as you want it to be. I guarantee it.
That's enough. I will not repeat myself. Take me to Akara Crafts owner first, if you please.
All right. He's usually at the slope up ahead recruiting volunteers to test out his toys. let's just head over.
This is something that I can only say in private. I could never publicly share my views on this matter. It positively baffles me that Fanta has managed to become such a popular drink. Though I suppose its appeal to humans is not beyond comprehension. One can both rehydrate and replenish blood sugar in one gulp, and at an exceptionally cheap price.
Momdu, the one I recommended is here.
Oh, so you're, Madame Farazan?
Yes, that's me.
Oh, wonderful. We haven't been able to make any progress on our collaboration recently. We've made many suggestions, but Miss Anise thought that those ideas were too simple and wouldn't be effective in training the mind.
These early learning toys are meant to help the academia train future researchers, after all. If they're too simple, then how are they any different from regular toys?
But if they're too complicated, not only will they be expensive to produce considering our production capability.
Early learning toys.
The contraptions in my notes. I didn't create those. I simply took the contraptions in the ruins apart and analyzed them. But now that you mention it, the ruins did have things like that. Do you have a pen, paper, and scissors? I'll make a paper prototype.
You have an idea already? I suppose I should have expected as much of a respected academia senior researcher. We do have those. Yes, please, help yourself. Oh, you're done already?
क्या है ये? Okay.
Let me explain. These 3 thick lines represent 3 poles. These paper strips of varying lengths represent rings of different sizes. They can be slotted onto the poles and stacked up like a tower.
Well, that is easier to make than I expected. So, how is this game played?
That's very simple as well. You just need to shift the tower from this pole to another pole.
Isn't this a little too simple? Even by the standards of an early learning toy, I mean.
Of course, when moving each ring, the paper strips in this thing at a time, and you can't place a bigger ring on top of a smaller one. It's like building a tower. The rings in the 3 poles must be stacked from big to small. I named this toy Pagoda Stack.
Pagoda Stack.
That sounds way too simple. Even I feel like it's missing something.
Give it a try and you'll find out if it's simple or not. I heard from Anise that you find volunteers to try out the toys, right? Why don't we do the same for this game?
It's such a simple toy. There's no need to...
Mamdu, let's just do as she says.
Okay.
And that's how you play this game. You can all give it a try. Let's see who's able to move the tower to another pole in the smallest number of steps.
You called everyone here for such a simple toy?
It doesn't look like it'll take that many steps.
Come on, we all promised to help Mr. Mamdu test out the new toys. He said he'd give us new Genius Invocation TCG cards.
Ugh, fine. Let's get this over and done with so we can head back and play cards.
Done! It took me 19 steps.
Huh? It took me over 20 steps.
I only needed 18 steps.
Not bad. Looks like you're all familiar with the rules now. Then let's increase the difficulty. The next tower will be 5 layers tall. Now then, give it a shot.
Wait, there's more?
Well, since we're already here, why don't we just give it a try?
An extra layer shouldn't make it that much harder, right?
What's going on? I've already moved over 30 steps, but I'm still not done yet.
I'm almost done. Looks like I'm the faster one this time.
Done! It took me 35 steps.
What? How?
This Pagoda Stack toy is pretty fun to play with.
Good. We'll try it one final time. This time, we'll add 2 more layers, making 7 layers in total. Mamdu, we've still got quite a few paper strips here. Why don't you give this a go as well?
Do you need that many steps for something this simple? Let me try.
Madam Faruzan, allow me to try it as well.
You were looking at it quite seriously just now. Are you starting to understand the principles involved?
I think so.
If you want to test out your hypothesis, you'll just have to play and find out.
Got it.
We don't have enough paper strips left for you, Traveler. However, by the looks of things, you seem to have the game figured out. Why don't you guess what the lowest number of steps needed to solve a 7-layer pagoda stack is? What a shame. You were close. However, you did well for someone seeing pagoda stack for the first time. Let's see how well they do then.
If I move this small ring, then the big one won't be able to go on top of it. Oh, this is going to take more steps than I expected.
I've lost count of how many steps I've taken. Can I restart?
This got a lot harder.
I solved it. Madam Faruzan, it takes 127 steps in total.
That many? But there are only 7 layers.
For every extra layer in the pagoda stack, the move order you need to consider becomes much more complex, and the number of steps required will at least double.
More accurately, it will require double the steps, plus 1 each time. You did well. You didn't underestimate the principles behind it just because it's an early learning toy. The complexity of any given contraption isn't determined by the number of parts it has. The way the parts interact and the rules behind how it operates are important too.
Oh, I see. No wonder you emphasized in your notes that no contraption should ever be underestimated.
I see. So even a simple toy can become complex with the right set of rules.
That's right. The rules used for Pagoda Stack are the simplest kind when it comes to ancient contraption-making techniques. I could spend some time picking out all those machines that do something similar and write you a reference book. Once that happens, you can give the volunteers the reference book and paper prototypes and find out which toy is the most popular.
Do you have any other toys?
Yeah! When can we play with them?
In about 2 days or so, I think. Anise, if you're free, can you help me with the illustrations for the reference book?
Of course! I'd be honored.
2 days should be enough for us to find more volunteers. Then we can organize a huge conference here, at which we can announce which toy we'll be making. You'd be most welcome. We need more people to get a healthy range of opinions. The more, the merrier.
Thank you for coming here with me today. I'll walk back with you. I'll be going then. Say hi to Tainari and Kale for me if you can. Once everything here is settled, I'll make my way over to Pardis DI as quickly as I can. You want to ask why I'm unwilling to join them, yes? Putting aside the fact that they're too full of themselves, I actually have no issue with their research methodologies and approach. After all, knowledge is either right or wrong. Superiority and inferiority do not come into the conversation. All researchers are just doing their best to shed light on the unknown in their respective fields of expertise. No matter what corner of the unknown they shed light on, it's a step forward for us all. Because I believe wholeheartedly in that principle, even if the others call my research useless, as long as the knowledge I gain from it is accurate, it could become useful in the future. In the end, useful and useless are concepts that shouldn't be used to evaluate knowledge. When I first started deciphering ancient documents, I didn't think about how it'd be useful to Kasharawar. That's why there's no need for me to join them to do useful research. I'd rather stay in Haravatat. It's much more convenient for me to access the materials I need for my research here. Still, the funding that Kasharawar has offered me is so hard to get in Haravatat. Perhaps if this collaborative project goes smoothly, I can even ignore Haravatat and ask for a higher budget directly from the academia. Oh, I could come up with lots of ideas. With Anise's help, 2 days will be enough for our work. However, I'm still undecided as to the style of the reference book's text and illustrations. You're right. If no one understands the reference book, it doesn't matter how detailed it is. It's better to make it simpler and fun so that children will be interested in the subject. It'll also make it easier for me to recruit students in the long run. Thank you. I'll take your opinion into account. See you in 2 days.
Finally.
Oh, you're here. We're just starting to set up the venue.
We've called up everyone we possibly could have. This is going to be quite the event.
My masterpiece is going to be exhibited after all. Let's see what the Academia shall say about it this time. And if we activate this little mechanism just like that, a Sumeru rose will appear at the top of the cane.
Oh, I see.
I thought it came out of thin air. It's amazing.
If the mechanism was bigger, you could make a rabbit appear, right?
Then you can't use a cane. Could you switch it out with a hat or something?
You're applying what you learned creatively. Not bad. Let's look at the next page. If you fold an origami bird like this, it'll fly further and more stably.
Whoa. You can make a mechanism using just a piece of paper?
The principles at play are even more important than the parts that make up a mechanism.
These are pretty cool. I'm tempted to try them out.
I'm not that interested in toys, but if they'll be beneficial for children's development...
Everyone, we have paper prototypes and craft materials that you can use to make your own toys. Come try them out.
This is such a well-prepared event. I'll give it a go.
But we want to play too!
It's fine. We have a lot of paper prototypes and craft materials. All feedback is also welcomed.
Oh, my origami bird flew further this time.
Professor Farazan, how can I make mine fly further?
Just madam will do. Maybe in the future, you may indeed get the chance to call me Professor. You may wish to pay attention to these few details. Here, for example. All right, try it again.
Wow, it really did fly farther!
Madam Farazan, will we learn origami at the Academia?
Of course you will. If you become a researcher, you can explore any field you like to your heart's content. In the future, if you want, you can even become one of my students.
But Mom and Dad said that there are 6 Darshans in the Academia. Wait, was it 7? Which Darshan teaches about mechanisms in origami?
Well, in this case, it wouldn't be Wriotheseley.
I know. We need to choose Kasharawar.
Huh?
I want to attend Kasharawar in the future and fold even better origami birds.
Okay, backfire हो गया.
I want to make even more awesome mechanisms!
Actually, the other Darshans do have their own specialties too. For example, Wriotheseley specializes in... Pay attention, children. Children? How did this happen?
What if we end up in a Darshan we don't like? Does that mean that we won't get to learn about the things we do like?
No, that won't happen. Take me, for example. I'm a researcher from Wriotheseley, but I research mechanisms. See, the only person able to restrict your curiosity as a researcher is you. Do you understand what I'm saying? It's all right. You still have a long road ahead of you. Now, do you want to learn about some other machines? Let me tell you a story about pressure-based mechanisms and elemental monuments.
What now? Master said there's no... I feel for... But if I get her... But if someone... And if the academia investigated and found her at Party's DI, things would get even worse for her. Do you have some way to invite her over to Party's DI without stepping on the academia's toes? Okay then. I'm counting on you.
Huh. I have to teach students from Wriotheseley, or...
Madame Farazan, we're back!
Well, since you're asking me so sincerely, let's just ignore the academia and...
Please, Madame Farazan, focus! Today's the deadline. Huh?
Yes. I see. No wonder he sent you two over. Why, that lad didn't make it very clear in his letter, now did he? Otherwise, I would have reported it as part of my research.
Yeah! That's right! Master sent us over to explain everything to you.
Wait. Opportunities for collaborative research don't just come out of thin air. This seems like too much of a coincidence. Also, there isn't much overlap between Madame Farazan's research and that of Amorta, right? What will you even be collaborating on?
A fully automated irrigation system.
A fully automated irrigation system?
Precisely. It's a system that can automatically adjust the amount of water it provides based on the season and the plant species involved. I saw a similar mechanism while exploring a rune in the rainforest. That's why Tainari wanted to collaborate with me.
A mechanism like that exists? Why haven't I heard of it before?
I found it 100 years ago, so it's only natural that you don't know about it. Why don't you go ask your teacher's teacher? Perhaps they've heard about it from their teacher.
But we can't prove its existence one way or the other, right?
Fret not. I'll have Tainari write an official proposal to the academia later. That should do it, right?
An official proposal. Fine. We haven't made any progress with either the collaborative project or the elective course anyway. I'll go inform my superiors now. Please do take care of the paperwork as soon as possible. Don't delay this any longer.
Sure. I'll be sure to needle him until he gets it done. Phew. I think she bought it. Even though this is our first meeting, I must say, we make a good team.
Wow! You made up that excuse on the spot, huh? Madame Farazan, did you really find an irrigation system 100 years ago? If the academia asks for any detail...
Who knows? It's been 100 years, so it wouldn't be too surprising if I've forgotten a few details, no?
Huh? Then how will we explain things to them?
I'll let Tainari worry about whatever documents we might need to send to the academia. If I'm right, the request he has in store for me won't be any simpler than the academia nonsense.
You don't have to shout. I can hear you. Well, you got here much faster than I expected. I thought you'd have a lot more business to take care of.
Thanks to the Traveler, I was able to, pawn off various problems of mine onto others.
Onto others? What does that mean?
We can discuss that later. You're looking for me because of the thing you mentioned in the letter, right?
That's right. Please, follow me.
ये बंदा
A monster? Why is there a monster here?
Don't be scared, Kale. This is the mechanical life form the Traveler and I saved a while back. Its name is Karkata. It's the final work of a late junior of mine.
You mean Abatui? He must have been a genius to create one of such polish all by himself. It's uncommon that a Spontamod researcher is able to create such an intricate machine. If he were still around, we could probably chat the day away. What a shame. Something seems wrong here. Have you been maintaining it? Mechanical life forms are much more fragile than they look.
Is Karkata sick?
Karkata has been lying down like this since a few days ago. It could be an old malfunction acting up again. I've taken a few courses conducted by Spontamod before, so I've managed to perform some passable repairs on Karkata's energy supply module. However, it seems the issue this time is with its transmission. My knowledge can only prevent its condition from deteriorating any further. But Madame Farazan, you should be able to find a way to repair it.
Not necessarily. Mechanical life forms are created using techniques from alchemy, elemental science, and more. There are multiple modules here that influence each other. A simplistic knowledge of mechanisms will not serve here. You know that as well. Each mechanical life form is very different from the next. So even I cannot be sure if my understanding of mechanical life forms is going to be of any use to our little crab friend here.
Karkata.
Can you all go outside for a minute? I need a bit of space. Before I do a thorough check, everything we've just said is but conjecture.
All right. We're counting on you, Madame Farazan.
Who knew that I'd encounter a mechanical life form in this manner after 100 years?
We'll wait here till Farazan finishes her inspection. In the meantime, I'd like to talk to you about her past, huh? Quite a few people in the academia know about what happened to her. Perhaps it'd be best if I'm the one to tell you. I've told you before that she had disappeared for 100 years, right? From her perspective, trapped might be a more apt description. Her exact words were,
That ruin was crawling with traps and coded inscriptions from wall to wall. I did all I could to decipher the code and deactivate the traps to escape the ruin, but there was no way out. I lost track of time and I ran out of pen and paper. In the end, I had to use stone shards to write on the walls and on the floor to decipher the code. Then, before I realized it, I ran out of space on the walls and floor. I had to calculate all the possibilities in my mind. After that, my memory started to become fuzzy, and my cognition slowed down.
she doesn't remember anything else, including the location of the ruin, and how she finally managed to escape. When she was found in the outskirts of Sumeru a few years ago, she looked exactly the same as she did 100 years prior. However, she was in a stupor and struggled to form sentences. Only after a lengthy recovery period could she speak again. The academia speculates that she must have gotten trapped in an unknown ruin while researching machines a century ago. And because of the ruin's special properties that halted her aging, she was able to use those 100 years to crack the trapping mechanism and then escape. Though she had finally broken free, 100 years had passed. Everyone she knew and everyone who knew her was already gone. In the end, even the academia had to rely on century-old records in the Akasha to confirm her existence. Don't make that face. I'm not telling you this because I want to drum up sympathy. She wouldn't want others to pity her because of past events. Rather, she sees that period of entrapment as an experimental error. As a researcher, she must accept everything that results from her experiments, even if they don't fall within expectations. Even after going through so much, she's returned to Sumeru and still hasn't given up on her research. Due to changes over the years and drift in academic subjects, she holds some rather strong opinions about the current academia, and she has no shortage of detractors herself. What I want to say is that no matter what era we're in, Farazan is a true senior researcher, in every sense of the word. She has her own deep understanding of various ruins and machines. If there's a chance, you should talk about them with her. It'll definitely be helpful for your journey.
Master, Madame Farazan's done.
Oh, let's head over. With any luck, she might have figured something out.
I never thought that I'd encounter a restitution module once again after 100 years. Abatui really installed quite a few impressive things on this. If my guess is correct, this mechanical life form has displayed attempts at self-sustenance before, right? Such as collecting parts to repair itself, for instance?
It used them for something else, but as far as its design goes, it does have a function like that.
I knew it. If I'm not wrong, Carcata's issue lies with its restitution module. Abatui's modified this module extensively, but the core parts and design philosophy are very similar to the principles as I know them. They are all based on principles learned from the ruins. The creators of the ruins machine once tried to create a perpetual mechanism that could replace life or even surpass it. The restitution module is the result of one of their countless attempts. It replicates the behavior of living things to achieve a self-repair function. However, the energy required in maintenance of the module became an issue.
Energy consumption? Maintenance?
For example, a living thing's heart can deliver nutrients and blood to various organs. However, the bigger the living thing, the more powerful the heart needs to be. Once the heart is damaged, it'll be hard for that living thing to heal itself, and even the function of other organs can be affected. Thus, the attempt wasn't widely adopted. Even 100 years ago, I'd only seen it once before. Oh dear, this is going to be a problem. Based on my current research, I'll need to swap out the damaged parts in the restitution module to repair Carcata. But like I just said, the module is rare, even by the standards of ancient machines. Not only that, but there is very little related research documentation available. Finding suitable parts would be like trying to find a single gear in the vast desert, to say nothing of the difficulty in making those parts from scratch. One can only wonder where Abatui found the original parts.
I might have an idea. Abatui was, for a time, quite passionate about excavating the Great Red Sand. This was when he had just gotten expelled from the academia.
You mean to say he found a restitution module in the desert? Well, that is indeed possible.
But the desert's huge! How are we supposed to find the parts that Carcata needs?
According to the Academia's records, no similar parts have been found in the Great Red Sand over the past 100 years. If we want to try our luck, we'll have to explore ruins that have never been explored before.
I do know that a Vahumana researcher formed an expedition team after the sandstorms and earthquakes subsided. They are now exploring areas of the desert that used to be difficult to access.
Should we ask them if they've made any new discoveries lately?
The chances are slim, but it's at least more effective than running around like headless chickens.
His name is Raid. I think he's stationed at the northeast part of the Hypostyle Desert. Let's go look for him once Carcata settles down.
Oh, you and Kale should probably stay. Carcata's condition may be stable, but it would still be better if some of us stay to look after it. Besides, you still need to take care of the trouble that the Academia left for me.
Trouble from the Academia? I thought you said that you pawned it off to someone else. Wait. Don't tell me.
मुंह देख रहे हो इसका?
I'll let Kale fill you in on the details. I look forward to seeing your work, Tainari.
A fully automated irrigation system. That's quite the task.
Master, can I help with anything at all? I can go buy things, prepare pen and paper.
Oh, you know, I seem to remember that you have a lot of homework today.
Huh? Oh, yeah, I do.
Well, hurry up and finish it so you can sleep early, or Farazan will worry. That's the best thing you can do now to help.
Oh, okay.
अरे टीपी हो जा।
I cannot help but feel that you bringing me here is some sort of an assassination attempt.
What is this?
Halt! Mr. Raid's permission is required to proceed any further. That still won't do. Mr. Aid told us to keep people away from the ruins so they don't damage the site.
Damage the site? I've excavated more ruins than you've visited restaurants. Which batch of students is Raid from? I want to see him right now.
He isn't at the campsite now. You should all leave. Only he can give you permission to enter.
What a stubborn guy. You're right. Even if there is new information, we still have to wait for him to come back so we can ask him about it. So let's just see what we can find out from the people here. I'm going to give that Raid a good talking to when he gets back. Starting from who in the world mentored you?
That machine looks amazing. Could it be the legendary Ruin Wanderer? The location seems to fit too. Might that legend actually be true?
This area used to be ravaged by frequent sandstorms, but it's been calm lately for some reason. They say that this was done by a single traveler? But seriously, is such a thing even humanly possible?
मैंने 100% किया पूरा डेजर्ट को क्या बोल रहा है यही है मैं
The ruins. Don't know anything. We were only hired to deliver water and supplies to them. Forget excavation. They won't even let us get close to the camp where they're staying.
Well, I found out everything I could. Is there anything that stands out to you? Ruin Wanderer. That's the first time I've heard that name. But that wreckage did seem a bit weird. It's a bit far away, and I can't really say for sure from this distance. Perhaps we should ask the villager from before about the legend first.
Huh? What are you guys doing back here? I wouldn't blame you for not knowing about it, youngsters. After all, it's a tale that's over a decade old. It's said that this monster, the Ruin Wanderer, traversed through various ruins for centuries. Many adventurers had claimed to see it while exploring. Some said that it was like a giant, while others said that it was like a beast. However, none knew why it wandered the ruins. Then, about 10 years ago, we stopped hearing any news about it in Sumeru. No one has seen it since then, and the legend has since faded into memory. You youngsters probably don't know about the Ruin Wanderer nowadays, but it was famous for centuries.
Centuries? Impossible. I heard nothing about it back then. It could only have been around for a few decades at most.
Wait, back then?
Indulge my curiosity for a moment. Why do you think that wreckage is the Ruin Wanderer?
Well, I had also heard that secondhand from...
You heard that nonsense from the Eremites after they got drunk, right?
Who are you?
Madam Faruzan, it is a pleasure. I'm Raid, the one who organized this archaeological expedition. I'd heard of you at the academia, but I didn't expect to run into you here. Truly, it is an honor. And this must be the famous traveler, I presume. What brings the two of you here?
Have you found any special contraptions and relics in the ruins that you've been investigating?
I'm ashamed to say that we haven't found anything noteworthy, even though we've been investigating for a while now.
Really? That Ruin Wanderer isn't noteworthy to you?
I'm afraid those are mere rumors. Really, I sometimes wish that those people would put as much effort into their work as they do into gossiping.
You're right, sir. I'll get back to work now.
The wise do not buy into rumors, so it is said. I believe that you too, Madam Faruzan, do not put any stock into such baseless talk.
It is also said that real knowledge shall come from practice. I can help you research the excavated relics and see if I can find out anything new about them. You can take credit for any new discoveries. I believe this offer to be sufficiently attractive.
In truth, I could ask for nothing better than your help with our research. However, you two must be tired after a long journey. I'd feel bad if I set you to work immediately. It's getting late and my subordinates and I are heading back to the camp to rest. Why don't you find a place to spend the night first? We can continue our discussion tomorrow. There are tents over there that the villagers occasionally use to rest. The condition is a bit simple, yes, but I hope you won't mind.
Since you need to rest as well, let's do just that. This is quite far away. Are they trying to prevent the villagers from eavesdropping on them? This suits us just fine, though. This way, they won't overhear our conversations either. Now, I have my suspicions about this archaeological expedition team and that machine wreckage. I only caught a quick glimpse, and it was from a distance. But based on the condition of the armor and joints, it didn't seem like something that had been lying around for centuries. At most, I'd estimate that it only stopped moving about a dozen years ago. Yes, the timing coincides with the spreading of the legend. Now, assuming that it really is the Ruin Wanderer, how do you suppose it was able to maintain a relatively good condition despite high-intensity operation over the course of several decades? That's right. Technically speaking, the module shouldn't be able to move such a large machine chassis. However, I'm basing my knowledge on the mechanical life forms I've seen before. Well, this was over 100 years ago. It was a machine about the same size as Karkata, actually. It couldn't carry heavy objects or fight, and was only able to help me record some notes. It also helped me deliver letters home. I found it near the desert, which is why I wondered if there might be more restitution modules buried around here. Honestly, people in ancient times might have already solved the problem of providing enough power for all I know. I'll need to research this properly. Had I confronted Raid right there and then, he would have said that he couldn't tell that the machine was special. Then he'd just hand it over to the Academia obediently. And he'd get away scot-free. If the wreckage were to be handed to the Academia, it'd be much tougher for us to do research on it or get spare parts for Karkata. Anyway, we should figure out what they're planning before making our next move. They insisted that we should stay the night, which means if they're trying to pull a fast one on us, they're likely to try tonight. We must be vigilant. Are those sounds coming from the excavation site? I knew they wouldn't be able to wait. They must be scared that we might discover something tomorrow. Not a single person guarding the campsite. This must be quite the manpower expenditure. I'll see if they left any clues behind at their camp. Keep watch and help me stall them if it comes to that, would you? All right. I'm counting on you.
Why isn't the tent here yet? We need to switch it out tonight.
It's still on the way. I'm afraid this is the first time we're delivering such a huge one.
You good-for-nothings are just a load of trouble, aren't you? We wouldn't have to deal with these interlopers if you had kept those lips of yours from flapping. Hurry up and hide our current tent and deliver the new one to me tonight, no matter what it takes.
Huh? Who's there?
I'm sorry. I'm just a bit upset because my subordinates aren't doing their jobs properly. When did you get here? It's nothing. Just a tent. We didn't pack up all our tents from the last campsite. Some of them, along with a few people, have been left there. Someone damaged our current tent, so I'm trying to get my subordinates to get one from that previous campsite delivered here. The relics in the ruins are highly valuable, so I'm worried that treasure hoarders and bandits might try to steal them. Since the tent isn't here yet and I can't fall asleep, I came here to patrol. Well, these things are antiques after all. There will always be people interested in buying them. I hired so many people precisely because I was worried about that happening. Speaking of which, I'd like to ask, is the Academia really aware that you've traversed through the desert to come here in the middle of the night? Also, where's Faruzan? Why isn't she with you?
I'm right here. Also, you forgot to address me as Madam.
Sorry, Madam. Far.
You were all making so much noise that I couldn't sleep, which is why I got the Traveler to find out what was going on. But for some reason, that one task took forever, so I came to check in on the situation.
Ah, I'm very sorry for disturbing your rest. I'll tell my subordinates to be quieter on patrol.
Good. Come on, Traveler. Let's head back. Yes, we came to check out the situation, didn't we? Well, we've already done that. We should get better rest so that we'll have energy to investigate tomorrow. Thanks for dealing with them. Now, I found something good on my end. These are the excavation records from their campsite. According to them, the ruins have been raided before, with numerous traps and contraptions having already been triggered. I also observed the wreckage up close earlier. The weathering is nowhere near as extensive as on the relics that have been buried for over 100 years. There's no doubt that the wreckage and the ruins don't belong to the same era. Instead, it must have wandered into the ruins about a dozen years. It could have fallen into a trap or encountered a glitch within the ruins, remaining stationary like that until it was discovered recently. However, I still don't know why they'd want to hide it. I have the last few pages of the excavation records are written in code, which I still need time to decipher. The answer may lie within those pages. It's just wordplay. And if anything, that's my wheelhouse.
Help! Please help! Why are you running away? Come back! Protect me!
Oh.
What's that sound? Is it? The Ruin Wanderer? Reactivated? That's impossible! Is this the work of some kind of hidden mechanism? Never mind. We have to focus on saving lives first. I'll cover them. You go stall the Ruin Wanderer. What? It ignored the Traveler?
Why is it chasing after us?
What could have caused it to reactivate? To give chase?
Darn it! Hey, come on, you lot! It's clear that we can't escape, so let's just attack it!
It stopped?
Hey, you guys, get up there and tell me what's going on.
But what if it suddenly moved?
You good-for-nothings. Why is everyone I hired so useless? Move! I'll do it myself. Looks like this thing's parts can't handle the load of functioning anymore after years of disrepair. When it first reactivated, I was wondering if it'd be as amazing as the legends had pegged it to be. I didn't expect it to be so much weaker than it looks.
Disappointing, you say? Now, is that because you won't be able to sell it for much?
Faru-san, you may be my senior as an academia researcher, but that doesn't mean you get to slander me.
You wrote these excavation records, did you not? Or perhaps calling it a ledger might jog your memory a bit better.
I don't recognize that thing.
January 3rd, excavated 5 tenths. January 5th, 3 tenths sold. January 10th, 1 special tent pre-sold. It must quickly be switched out with an old tent. You're supposed to be an archaeological expedition team, and yet here you are, secretly selling the relics and profiting from it. When you believed that you had found the wreckage of the Ruin Wanderer, you tried to switch in wreckage that you had excavated previously to pull the wool over the Academia's eyes. After all, there would probably be many wealthy buyers interested in purchasing the legendary Ruin Wanderer in the black market, yes? And then we arrived just before you could finish your work. That forced you to speed up your plan, and you tried to complete the switch overnight before I could investigate the wreckage. In your haste, however, you accidentally activated the Ruin Wanderer instead. Did I get that all right?
I don't know what you're talking about.
You lack the curiosity befitting a man of knowledge, nor do you have respect for mechanical life forms. You're not fit to be a researcher.
Ridiculous. Curiosity? Respect? I'm not here to hear you preach. Hey, we're leaving.
Mr. Aid!
Behind you? Why is it moving again? Run!
Some said that it was like a giant, while others said that it was like a beast. However, none knew why it wandered the ruins.
Technically speaking, the module shouldn't be able to move such a large machine chassis. However, I'm basing my knowledge on the mechanical life forms I've seen before. Centuries? Impossible. I heard nothing about it back then. It could only have been around for a few decades at most.
Why is it chasing after us?
So you've been looking for me this whole time? Long time no see, Tamimi.
The hell, bro?
Bow your head.
Dear Farazan, I hope you're doing well. It has been over 20 years since you went missing. People from the academia keep telling us to give up and that you're most likely dead. But somehow, I feel like you're still alive. Yes, that you live still in some corner of this world. You've always been persistent, able to shine no matter what situation you face. I believe that this persistence serves you well in surviving and finding your way home. Unfortunately, I likely won't be able to welcome you home when you do. I don't have much time left, and my reflexes have slowed. Others keep telling me to stop exploring ruins. Only Tamimi is still the same as before, always running off to places which you've been to. Your teacher and friends came up with an idea to remodel Tamimi, so it can search for you in our place. You didn't like coming home back then and would always get Tamimi to send a letter back. Now we're leaving a letter with Tamimi. I wonder if it'll ever be delivered to you. I don't know the answer to that question, but if you ever read this letter, I hope it'll be when you've already found your way home. I regret not being able to say this to you myself, but I'll still feel sincerely happy for you. My dear daughter.
Welcome home, Farazan. Look at you, Tamimi. You've changed so much after all these years. Thank you for waiting for me all this time. I've safely received the letters. Your work is done now. You can sleep. Tamimi, the mechanical life form I encountered back then. When I would go on expeditions, it would follow me, take notes for me, and send my letters home. When I met with that accident, it was on the way to deliver a letter for me. I once thought that I'd never get to see it again. I didn't expect my teacher and others to remodel its self-repair function, upgrading it to self-learning. And so, in order to plumb the depths of unknown ruins and overcome dangerous traps, it repaired and modified itself using parts it found along the way. One decade of wandering became many, and soon, Tamimi, which used to be incapable of even moving heavy objects, became the Ruin Wanderer. All so it could deliver these last letters from them to me. The strain to support such a huge body must have turned out to be too much for your heart, right? Even after the remodeling, its restitution module still can't function perfectly in perpetuity. It has been pushing itself beyond its limits over the past few decades. Just like a living being, mechanical life forms have a limited lifespan. It probably became trapped in the ruins all those years ago because its shelf life had run out. It most likely only reactivated because it detected my presence. And then it mustered up everything it had to deliver that last letter. Now, it can finally rest in peace. Tainari told you what happened to me, right? You don't have to apologize. It's not like this incident is a secret in the academia. Besides, I've always treated it as a failed experiment. As a researcher, I must accept this result. However, finding out that so many people were affected by my failure does make me feel somewhat conflicted. Can you head back to Pardis DI first? We've been here for a while, and it's best not to make Kale and the rest worry.
As for me, I want to stay with Tamimi for a bit longer. Just a bit. You're back!
Ah, how was your journey through the desert? Wait, where's Madame Farazan? So, Madame Farazan has some other things to settle. All right. And to think that Raid was doing all those things on the sly. It's good that you all got out of that situation in one piece.
Madame Farazan will be able to repair Carcata when she gets back, won't she?
तो एक दिन वेट करें.
I'm back! What? Is there to be no welcoming party?
Madame Farazan, we're over here!
That's more like it. Now, here are some components I brought back from the desert. Switch these out with the ones Carcata is using right now, and it'll be back in ship shape.
So this is a relic of an ancient civilization. Unbelievable. Thankfully, it didn't end up in Raid's unscrupulous hands.
Unscrupulous, huh? Sounds like you already told them what happened. Is that so? Thank you. We will talk about everything else later. It's nothing. I've already given all the evidence we have against Raid to the Academia. They're going to be very busy. Too busy to bother us, I'd wager. I'll start repairing Carcata then. Kale, can you help me out?
Of course!
Farazan went out after repairing Carcata. She seems to be looking for you for some reason. Well, I will not probe any further. However, if you need any help, do feel free to ask.
It looks fine, but even so, it needs to properly rest up.
Ah, you're here. Thank you for keeping Tamimi a secret. If I tell them about Tamimi, will they still feel happy for Carcata? Even if we could convince them to accept the components, they'll probably still feel bad about it. I don't want my past to affect people in the present. That applies to both me and other people. It's fine. I'm used to this. I once believed that I'd never hear from my old friends and family ever again. Even their faces are getting hazier in my memory. However, I could remember them clearly again after reading the letter Tamimi handed to me and learning that they'd never given up on me. That's more than enough. I'd be disappointing them if I let myself fall into a slump because of this. Neither my teacher nor my mother would have wanted to see me like that. Besides, you're lending a listening ear to me now, aren't you? Oh, Pardius DI looks pretty scenic at night. Will you take a stroll with me? Once Carcata's condition stabilizes, I'll find a chance to tell Tainari and Kale about all that. But for now, just help me keep the secret. Thank you. Whether it's 100 years ago or now, I have people who worry about me. I suppose I should consider myself quite fortunate. The only time when I felt otherwise was when I had just returned to Sumeru. No one came to check up on me then. Yeah, I'm home.
हाँ कौन सा हुआ चलो हुआ
What do you think could be hidden in this big garden?
You're back!
Ah,
Oh no. She finally got to reunite with an old friend from 100 years ago.
As a researcher, she could perhaps accept it. However, as a friend, student, and a daughter, we should give her some time. And in the future, I hope that we can be here to support her as her new friends.
I'm back! What? Is there to be no welcoming party?
We've all been waiting for you, Madame Farazan.
That's more like it. Now, here are some components I brought back from the desert. Switch these out with the ones Karkata is using right now, and it'll be back in ship shape. Huh? Why do you all look so solemn? Come now. Liveliness befits youngsters more.
Madame Farazan, did these parts come from...
Come now. I thought that you must have encountered some major problem. This isn't something you have to worry about. Well, it looks like you already know everything. But no need to feel bad. Like I said before, as researchers, we must learn to accept our failures. Tamimi had been operating beyond capacity for a century, and I'm unable to repair it with my current abilities. Not even with these parts. It would thus be much better to use them to extend Karkata's lifespan. As a senior, it is only right that I do something for the people who come after me. That holds true for both researchers and machine. Besides, I didn't say that I would be giving you these parts for free. They will only be used for Karkata temporarily. Otherwise, you wouldn't be able to help me with my research. I'll be sure to revive Tamimi once I've fully deciphered and replicated the creations of the ancient civilization.
All right. I'll do my best to help.
Me too! Although, I'm not sure if I'll be much help.
Thank you. If they could remodel Tamimi successfully even back then, there's no reason why we won't be able to do even better. And when that day comes, I'll be sure to say, welcome home, Tamimi.
हेलो कहाँ गायब हो गया ये तो और भी तो है ये भी तो
I'll be going then. Say hi to Anise. We haven't had much time to get to know each other, but she seems like a good kid. She's able to calmly figure out the basic principles behind something without being influenced by others. I'll do my best to teach her over the next few days. Still, how much she learns will really depend on her. Well, her interest lies in the application of mechanisms. I do have some old knowledge to share, but if we think about the future, it's easier for her to learn the things she's interested in if she stays in Kasharawar. My research into mechanisms is, in a sense, a side effect of my research into ancient. If she becomes my student to learn how to make modern contraptions, it wouldn't benefit either of us in the long run. However, if she develops an interest in deciphering ancient texts over these next 2 days, that would change things. If I successfully poach a student, those young punks at Wriotheseley will have one less reason to cut my budget. Perhaps if this collaborative project goes smoothly, I can even ignore Wriotheseley and ask for a higher budget directly from the academia. Oh, I could come up with lots of ideas. With Anis's help, 2 days will be enough. You're right. Explanations are a core part of early developments, too. By using detailed and accurate illustrations, we can impart knowledge more effectively. It would also make it easier for me to recruit students. Thank you. I'll take your opinion into account.
लो करके देख रहे हो?
Oh, you're here.
We've called up everyone.
To sum up, the 24 forms of pressure-based puzzle mechanisms were used in... All right, let's go to the next page. Now, I'll explain the base layer design. I don't understand any of...
Are these really toys?
They sound a bit too dangerous to buy for children.
Oh. Well, we've prepared paper prototypes for everyone. If you're interested...
Oh, this is no fun.
I want to go home and play Genius Invocation TCG.
Forget it. I don't think any...
I should go home and take care of my children.
वो ignore नहीं
How
होता
did
है.
this happen? Forget about getting opinions from others. No one even wanted to stay and
In-game
try
chat
them
किया,
out.
full ignore बोलते हो.
I'm sorry. I think we miscalculated.
No, you simply gave suggestions. I was the one who decided to follow through. Anis, too, was only following my... I will find a way to make up for this
मैं इसी में
error.
हूँ.
Please, give me some time. I'll write another reference book.
तो माइक तो खोल.
मेरा ओपन है माइक भाई.
अरे स्ट्रीमर मोड है ना. नहीं स्ट्रीमर मोड पे क्या होता है, कोई वीसी आता है, कोई जॉन होता है, कोई टैग मरता है, तुमको कुछ आवाज नहीं आएगा. डिसेबल करेगा तो सबको आवाज आएगा.
मैं इतने देर से बोल रहा भाई.
एग्जाम हो गया तेरा?
नहीं कल आखिरी है. मेरा अभी टाइम था तो फ्री मैंने बोला चलो.
Yes.
You're that man.
मैं बोला चलो यार मिलके आ ही जाते हैं. वैसे भी तुम कर क्या रहे? स्टोरी मोड.
हैंगआउट बोल रहा था ना, हैंगआउट.
किसका?
फारुजान का हैंगआउट कर रहा हूँ. एक आज फारुजान का करूँगा, कल किसी और को करूँगा. फारुजान का कर रहा है मैं. कितना टाइम हो गया मैं खुद भूल गया. कितना 2 घंटे के ऊपर होने वाला है. एक हैंगआउट ठीक है.
To visit some old friends. On the way over, I saw the booklet you were handing out, so I came to take a look. Can you print a few more copies of this booklet and sell them to the Adventurers Guild? Also, could you make full-fledged models of those paper prototypes and sell them to us as well?
What does the Adventurers Guild want with these toys?
You may see them as toys, but to adventurers who need to deal with all sorts of machines and contraptions within ancient ruins, this booklet is a true treasure. We have many members who can't read, so books are of little use to them. What they know of handling mechanisms has been learned solely through word of mouth. Even if the academia granted public access to all their books, there are people who can't use them.
And our booklet is practically all pictures.
Well, it is designed for children.
It might be a bit too difficult for children, but it's perfect for adventurers. Also, those paper strips, you called them paper prototypes? If you can make wooden versions for demonstration purposes, even the most illiterate person would be able to follow along and understand. If we can supply a set for each branch, and if each adventurer carries a booklet with them, then ruin...
You really think so? I mean, yes. I always knew it.
150
Knowledge
दो
will always be needed, one way or another.
क्वेस्ट करना है
Making models
Stream
of
करे, stream.
contraptions for the Adventurers
तो
Guild?
अरे तुमने लिखा हैंग आउट
Sounds
करने
like a
के लिए,
good
मैं सोचा
avenue
तुम
to
हैंग
explore
आउट
to
करने
me.
जा रहे हैं आज।
ना वही तो कर रहा है। हाँ वो वैसा हैंगआउट नहीं बोल रहा मैं, ठीक है। हेलो तू क्या समझ रहा है?
Probably have to send
तुमने
him a
लिखा ना मैं
sample
आज
लिखा जेंशिन करके लिखा भी है।
नहीं
After all, this
इसमें
concerns
नहीं, उसमें
safety
लिखा
during
था
the
ना तुमने
exploration of
चैट
ruins.
में
हैंगआउट करके लिखा है।
हैंग आउट करने
Problem
जा
that
रहा
the
हूँ।
academia is actually trying to address
मैसेज
as
में
well.
हैंग आउट करने जा रहा हूँ, मैं बोला अच्छा हैंग करने जा रहा हूँ।
टाइटल पे वैसा है। वो हेलो वैसा हैंगआउट नहीं है।
हाँ आ रहा हूँ मैं भी आ रहा हूँ
The amount we're offering to pay in
ये
advance
तुम्हारे बल से
is
मेरे को स्टार्ट
this
करना
much.
है,
क्या करना है
इतना ज्यादा
स्टार पे कलेक्ट करना है।
किसके ऑल से
हाँ सेंपाई के बल से
हाँ
और
जल्दी
अपने
जा
बल। अभी नहीं, अभी तो टाइम है बहुत।
कितना हो गया? 1 2 3 4 और एक बाकी है। एक आखिरी बाकी है। आज तो
कितने
वीकली
घंटे
था।
हो गए करते हुए?
वीकली
वीकली कर लिया मैंने।
कर दिया हम लोगों ने भी कर दिया। मैं असर और आफ्टर साथ में किए थे।
मैंने चाइल्ड को मारा, डेंडो ड्रैगन को मारा और एक अपना
हम लोगों ने डेंटल ड्रैगन को मारा,
डेंटल ड्रैगन कौन है
एपअप है ना,
तो उसको एपअप बोलने का ना
ये तो डेंटल
तो
ड्रैगन।
डेंडो ड्रैगन
अरे
भी बोल सकते
हाँ
हैं।
सिंचू ने मेरे से वो कर लिया वो उसने बदले में निगवांग को भेजे हैं
But if I get her in trouble with the academia, then she won't have the time to help
निगवांग आ गई
Master. What should I do?
क्या?
पता नहीं मैंने आपको बोला था ना निगवांग करके पता नहीं क्यों आ गई बस आ गई
But if someone, and if the acad, do you have some way to invite her over? to
निगवांग का लगता है एक शॉर्ट वीडियो बना के डालना पड़ेगा व्हाट्स द कैरेक्टर
Madam Farzan, we're well.
Please, Madam Farzan.
जल्दी jutsu
Why, that lad.
अभी क्या क्या करूं
Wait.
154 अच्छा
A fully
Pirates
सोर भी तो वो लाइव है,
Fully
दोनों लाइव बैठे थे।
I saw a similar
a mechanism.
तो सोर का तो माइनक्राफ्ट है।
नहीं नहीं
An official
ये माइनक्राफ्ट की उसमें वो खेल रहा है गेम से।
हाँ तो मैंने उस पे लिखा भी तो है माइनक्राफ्ट जेंशिन लेटर करके
अच्छा 4 घंटे हो भी गए थे वैसे।
ये वाला गलत गलत वाला लाइन से
12:30 से किया
If I'm right,
डेली करना है एक्सप्लोरेशन रिवॉर्ड लेना है और फिर
मैं तो आया पहले आया मैं,
कंटेंट हैंगआउट।
ठीक है। और पहले मैं देखा सिंपल वीसी बैठा हुआ, सोर वीसी बैठा, मुझे पता था
सर्वर बंद नहीं सर्वर चालू है
क्या लोग?
फिर मैंने देखा मुझे लगा कि सिंपल ऑनलाइन बैठा है वीसी में, फिर मुझे लगा वो बैठे हो दूसरे वाले नहीं आते जो तुम्हारे वो है क्या सिद्धार्थ भाई,
ना ना
Sure, he'll say.
वो मुझे लगा वो बैठे हैं।
I also stay and help.
तो फिर मैं स्टार्टिंग में नहीं आया, फिर मैं तुम्हें मैसेज किया डिस्कॉर्ड में
अच्छा
कि लाइव किया करा कि नहीं किया तेरे, रिप्लाई नहीं आया। मैंने लगा फिर वही बैठे थे, सिद्धार्थ ही बैठे थे।
The traveler said, "Oh,
उसके बाद फिर मैंने गेंशिन में देखा लाइव, तब फिर मैंने बोला गेंशिन में ऑनलाइन देखा, फिर उसके बाद फिर मैंने गेंशिन में हेलो लिखा, फिर भी रिप्लाई नहीं दिया, फुल इग्नोर।
Haravitat is an academic
In-game
faction that
message किया था ना
researches
तूने?
languages and runes.
सेनपाई हैंगआउट
नहीं,
कर रहे हैं
100 years
क्यों?
ago,
अरे
one
पहले तो
Farzan
in-game message
was
किया ना
a
हेलो
researcher
करके।
from that darshan.
रिफ्रेश
नहीं
करो
पहले मैंने डिस्कॉर्ड में लिखा था।
डिस्कॉर्ड पे तो स्ट्रीमर मोड एनेबल है करके आवाज नहीं आएगा, टैग करने का ऊपर नीचे ट्रैक करने का। तो सीधा
हाँ,
आके
उसके
माइक
बाद
खोल
में-
करके बात करेगा तब मेरे को आवाज आएगा, तब मैं जाके माइक ऑन करेगा।
no, not was.
पहले मुझे लगा ना सिद्धार्थ वो बैठे हुए हैं।
ना
I'm
Yes,
sure.
of course.
वरना मैं यूजुअली तो
But
रिप्लाई दे
current
देता ना
Haravitat
डिस्कॉर्ड पे अगर टैग
students
मारेगा तो।
can't really.
हाँ तभी तो नहीं आया मैं,
Um,
मुझे लगा
in
सिद्धार्थ
summary,
बैठे क्योंकि
I
रिप्लाई
learned
नहीं
to
दिया ना
interpret
तुमने,
the
तुम लगा
Right.
सिद्धार्थ बैठे थे
configurations
वीसी
of
में,
ruin
तब मैं नहीं
mechanisms
आया
via the deciphering
DC में।
on-site stone cards.
फिर अभी
and
मैं
other
यूट्यूब में
methods.
चलेगा
मैंने यूट्यूब
It'll
करके मैं
include
थोड़ा
research
सा
into
यूट्यूब में
general
वीडियो देख लेता
documents
तब देखा
dealing
मैंने
with such
लाइव।
ancient machines.
The research method is supported by Haravitat, yes, but the content deals heavily with both ruins and mechanisms.
अरे हैंगआउट करने का मतलब
This will
क्वेस्ट
make
करने
it
की वजह क्या
difficult
कर
for
रहा हूँ
also there are fewer and
अरे हाँ
fewer unexplored ruins
सिंपाई
left nowadays.
इस इवेंट
And
में कौन
Kashara
करेगा
researchers have been
अरे
developing the
इवेंट में
उठाओ
तो
बिजी
They're far
क्यों
too
है
complacent.
द
Ancient mechanisms are
मिस्टीरियस
more
वंस
dangerous
मेरे को
than
लग रहा
I'm telling you. Things weren't like this 100
ये
years
किसके
ago.
वर्ल्ड का वो
All
कर रहा है तो
researchers back then were interested in
मेरा
exploring
ही
knowledge from a
है
variety of topics.
चैप्टर 3
Nowadays,
एक्ट
all
4
people are interested in are mainstream subjects
चैप्टर 3
like
एक्ट 4 कौन सा
research.
है?
नहीं
Even if they attended my course,
किसका
I wouldn't be interested
आफ्टर
in
ने सही
teaching
बोला
तेरा
था मेरे को कि
Also,
जो आप
they
डेली
figured
करते हो ना
that
वही
my
स्ट्रीम कर दो,
research
वही
is
काफी
outdated
दिखेगी।
and unrealistic.
ये सुमेरु वाला है मेरा और ये कैज़म का होगा शायद से एक्ट 2 हाँ
She's
कैज़म
a
का है
hardworking child and respects her elders. Huh?
किसकी आईडी है ना
For
तू
those who came to my lectures
तेरी
for
आईडी
more
किसकी
than
आईडी
you.
है
Speaking of which, are you feeling better? You don't have to confine yourself to Gandharvaville
इसी को
anymore.
मेन बनाना है तो पहला उसको हटाना चाह रहा हूँ स्टोरी
क्या क्या है इसमें दिखा तो कैरेक्टर दिखा क्या क्या
एक ही है जो मेन होना चाहिए था
Are you
तेरा
telling me
एजेंट
to
दिख
start
रहा
a
है कितना
reading
है
course for college?
ड्रैगन हाँ पता है कैप्ड नहीं होने दूंगा बहुत दिन से कैप्ड था
Although Tainori has academic dealings
अब
with the
फर्क नहीं पड़ता मेरे को
academia, he
इनसे
isn't considered
रेजिन एक
part
बार
of it.
सीख गया रेजिन का क्या होता
This
है
means
बस
that
खत्म
Kale isn't technically a student.
मेन अकाउंट पे उतना
फाइव स्टार
सिद्धत से
कौन सा
खेला है
बनता है
अब वो भी की जाएगा तो इस पे रेजिन सिद्धत से हो रहा हूँ
फाइव स्टार कौन सा बन सकता है निको
Because they ignore. There must surely
नहीं
be
था
people like Kale and
और
Sumeru who
जीत
are passionate about learning, but cannot step
नहीं
into
एक और है
the
नीचे सबसे
old
नीचे एक और
लूज
है
लूज बहुत होता है कचिंग से अभी कचिंग आई है
ओह हेलो क्या हो रही है
Perhaps this shall come to
एक जीन से
benefit
लूज
many
हुआ
more
एक
people in
कचिंग
the
से लूज
future.
हुआ ठीक है पहला लूज हुआ फिर उसके बाद वो आई थी क्या बोलते आर्कॉन फिर लूज हुआ
असर का भी तो लूज हुआ
ये बैक टू बैक मेरा लूज हो रहा है
असर का तो ऑन स्ट्रीम लूज होता है लोग है ना
हाँ असर का तो
ऑन स्ट्रीम बोला ऑन स्ट्रीम लूज हुआ था उसका
Traveler, Kale, do wait for us a
इसके
little
बाद उसने
while.
बोला अब बैटिंग खोलता गया
बोले वो नहीं खोला अभी तक गेम नहीं खोला
वो कह रहा अब मैं गेम नहीं खोलेगा
मैं बाद में करेगा ठीक है मैं मतलब निकालना शुरू करेगा अभी बस हाइड्रो आर्गन निकालने के बाद फिर सब्र रखेगा
भाई हाइड्रो आर्गन में लगा भाई सबसे ज्यादा सैंपल की लगेगी अभी तीन बैनर्स लगातार बोले उनका
अरे मैं तो गया है खत्म है और कुछ नहीं बर्बाद है
नहीं 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 रीजन पे खाली फूक मारेंगे ना हो गया भाई
वो तो मुझे पता
नहीं ये हेलो अभी तो मैं बोला था ना अकेला
जैसे फोर्सेल और 4.2 पे है ना और 4.3 पे मान लो कि जो अपन को चाहिए अगर वो उसमें
4.3 पे नाविया इटो वगैरह राइडन और स्पी
हां राइडन है ना मतलब 4.3 पे
मेरे को थोड़ी ना चाहिए
नहीं नहीं तो काजुआ का समय कैसे खेला था याद है कुछ
काजुआ के लिए मैंने 6 महीने का सेव किया था सीधा C2 निकाला
हम लोगों ने क्या किया था
वो तुम लोग
क्या था उसके बाद 3 दिनों पूरा वर्ल्ड खोद दिया था ना
बट मेरा तो अभी मैंने सब 100 कर दिया ना मैंने ऑन स्ट्रीम कर दिया था ये सब
क्या बोलते हैं मेरा येलन कब थी 5 दिन में येलन पूरा हार्ट पीटी जाके
गारंटीड था ना तेरा
फोर्सेल से निकालने के बाद रिटर्न
नहीं गारंटीड नहीं था किसने बोला गारंटीड था 50 था
हां ये रन गारंटीड था न्यूबलाइट 50-50 था
नहीं ये रन से पहले भी हारा मैं ये रन मेरा वो कौन सा था जब वो नहीं निकला था मेरा उससे पहले कौन सा कैरेक्टर निकाला था
So she often asks me if I'm willing to become her student.
ये कैरेक्टर निकाला था कौन सा निकाला था इससे पहले
choice but to stay up late. It's not that.
इससे पहले कौन सा कैरेक्टर आया था
एलान के पहले
Persuade me, especially since she knows I need to rest and recuperate.
सेकंड हाफ था
She
कोकोमी
sometimes
थी
brings food to Gandharva.
कोकोमी वांडरर वगैरह सब था
Each time she says that
नहीं
master
मैंने
यूला और क्ली था
नहीं ये रन गारंटीड था क्या
हां तेरा येलन गारंटीड था न्यूबलाइट 50-50 था
Kale,
नहीं
Traveler,
वो तो मुझे 50 था वो तो मैं तो जीत गया मजे
the
में
issue has been resolved. I argued with the higher
बताओ
ups
भी
and
लगती है
convinced them of
अच्छी
the
लेकिन उतनी भी
practicality
नहीं
and
है
necessity of educating the
डैमेज
general
देती है भाई
public.
बताओ बहुत
डैमेज कौन बोल रहा है छी भाई एक फोटो दिखा दूंगा ना मीको का यहीं गिर
If
जाएगा
I'm not mistaken, they're the students of my classmates' students.
AFK गेमिंग
They're a lot less forceful than their predecessors, though.
मैं भाई तो बोला मैं
Say they
होता
caved
अभी
rather
पूरा नहीं करने
quickly.
वाला
हटाओ बात के लिए
बताओ 8 पॉइंट पे पुल करेगा अगर करूंगा तो
मेरा सबसे पहला
On every single page of the application.
मेरा सबसे पहला
हेलो अभी सबसे दुख का था
Picky as
हेलो
ever.
अबे
Let's see
सेव
now.
वर्जन पे कि इसमें निकाल
What
के
do
भर
we
दूं
need
इस
to
पे
fill in? Course
क्या?
name, learning
Look.
objectives,
अभी जिस पे खेल
teaching
रहा हूं
methods,
अभी सबसे दुख वाला
course materials.
वेंटी जा रहे
I suppose we
हाँ
can
मैं
start
वही
with
तो
the
कह रहा
course
तुम लोग
name
तीन
last.
बैनर लगातार है वेंटी जाओगे
सुन,
राइट स्टेज
वेंटी अभी गारंटीड है ना
After all, this class's
हाँ
target
नहीं
audience
नहीं है
isn't
कहाँ
अबे
है
दिया निकला ना
but rather as such,
दिया
we'll
नहीं
need a
निकला
more
तुम्हारा दिया
specific learning
अब
दिया
मेरे-
C2
मेरे
क्या था
बाहर
ना?
निकालो
If we use
अगर
children's
तुमने
teaching
अभी किया है तो
materials,
मुझे नहीं पता
अभी
मैं
क्या
जाने
था
लगा
हाँ।
उस मेरे से पहले नहीं हुआ मेरे से
नहीं
पहले
रिसेंटली
हुआ।
हुआ था रिसेंटली हुआ था ठीक है
and
ये
you have your job as a
ठीक है,
forest
वेंटी
ranger.
गारंटीड है सुन
People who
वेंटी
attend this
गारंटीड
course
है
in the future are also
मेरे को
likely to have
C1
life commitments.
राइसली निकलना पड़ेगा
We need more effective.
C1 नाइस टीम मतलब दो बार फुल
3 पिट्टी जाना पड़ेगा अपना अभी 50-50 हो गया ना 4 पिट्टी जाना पड़ेगा उसके लिए मतलब
It
वहाँ
must have been difficult
कोरिना
to
के
get
लिए
books
भी तो
in
जाना है
Sumeru in recent years, no?
क्यों दुख दिला रहा है तू मतलब जाने पे और नॉक छेड़ा
और वो भी फर्स्ट हाफ आ रही है
That's next
वही
on the
तो
list.
दिक्कत है
I fear that
आया
I'm at a
नहीं
loss as to which books youngsters like nowadays.
ये आलोक होलसेलर का ये आ गया है आर्टिफैक्ट्स लॉन्च गोल्डन ट्रुथ तेरे को फार्म करना
I've been reading light novels from Inazuma. I heard that ever since we were allowed to sell books in Sumeru again, some people set up stalls at Treasure Street to sell light novels.
चोर आके हाय
I've been meaning to go there and check it out.
Light novels? This is my first time hearing about such a thing, but I doubt I will procure suitable teaching.
Wait for us, Madam. You wouldn't think someone as fast as her is over 100. Let's pick up the pace and catch up to her.
Sure you found the correct semantic fit for this.
What a long and mildly ungrammatical title. And why is the cover...
Is this your first time seeing a light novel, ma'am? Oh, they're the most popular of books now.
Fine.
Of course. Why don't you try this one? It's Outlander Brigade, When the Wind of Death Blew Towards the
I heard that this book's author describes action and...
Now I've only skimmed through a few pages, but it... the protagonist just ends up fighting in every scene with no proper build-up. Will anyone even enjoy a story that's only comprised of fights?
How about... the good thing about being reincarnated as a hilly churl is that I only need to eat Sunsetia's...
A reincarnation isekai story? Those are pretty popular right now.
Isekai? What in the world is that? Also, why does it become stronger by eating Sunseti tropes?
अगर मेरा मैथ सही है तो भाई को हर 50-50 अर्ली में निकालना पड़ेगा
अरे रुक मत दिला बस ये प्रे कर अर्ली आना चाहिए ये बोल अर्ली आना चाहिए बस जो भी अर्ली एक टाइम पुल में 2 निकलना चाहिए
Such an illogical rule will affect the
वही
coherence
वही
of
कह रहा हूँ
the
मैं अर्ली आएगा तभी होगा अभी तक
That's the latest volume of Onibudo.
क्योंकि तुम्हारे वर्ल्ड में तो कुछ है भी नहीं ग्राइंड करने के लिए
कुछ नहीं है वही तो बोला कुछ यही तो ग्राइंड कर रहे थे हैंग आउट कर रहा है इसके लिए मैं
Yes, but
कुछ नहीं इससे तो हैंग आउट कर रहा है
much. Madam?
हाइड्रा किलर्स हो गया वर्ल्ड एक्सप्लोरेशन 100%
Let me see.
वही तो कुछ है भी नहीं तुम्हारे वर्ल्ड में जो एक्सप्लोर करो जो 4.2 में तो मैं मानता हूँ ये एरिया आया वहां से निकाल दोगे
I also thought those names
4.2 पे एक पिटी जा पाएगा मैं फर्स्ट हाफ में मेरे को इतना मालूम है
It's impossible to drive the
एक पिटी जा
होलसेलर पे एक पिटी जा पाएगा वो भी 50-50 होने वाला है
Ecological properties are quite where did the
क्योंकि देख अभी तो राइस पुल कर रहा ना मैं वही अगला जो भी 50-50 हो जाएगा ना
अब वो अलग बात है तुम वो वाले तरीके से करोगे तो फिर तो हो जाएगा
वो वाले तरीके से क्यों बोल रहा है अभी देख ना देख 16 तारीख को होगा जो स्ट्रीम
हां
उस पे देख क्या होता
उसको मार
16 तारीख क्या है
16 तारीख को तो बैनर है वेंटी और राइसली का मंडे
मंडे को करोगे
तो कब करूं
देख के करना टाइम जिसमें तुम आ जाए
बैनर 3:30 बजे आएगा यानी कि मेरे यहाँ का 5 बजे भाई साहब इतना सुबह उठ के स्ट्रीम करना पड़ेगा
Yes.
3:30 बजे ना अरे फिर तो ठीक है कॉलेज से आने के बाद
अब फिर ठीक है क्या व्हाट डू यू मीन बाय सिद्धार्थ बैठा रहेगा वीसी में तभी और मैं सोता रहेगा आज थोड़ा लेट मालूम है लेट मैं भी सोया नहीं
जब तुम स्ट्रीम करोगे ना तब जाके वो करेगा तब जाके आएगा वीसी
आज मैं ये क्या बोलते हैं उसको सोया नहीं क्योंकि नवरात्रि आ रहा ना तो प्रिपरेशन कर रहा हूं
नवरात्रि तो संडे से शुरू है ना
संडे से स्टार्ट हो रहा है ना तो उसके लिए प्रिपरेशन तो कुछ करना पड़ेगा ना तो इसलिए आज सोया नहीं इसलिए आज लेट स्ट्रीम स्टार्ट किया मैं वरना मैं सुबह 11 बजे को स्टार्ट कर देता ना
वही तो पूछा मैं तभी तुमने मैसेज डाला आज स्ट्रीम कर रहा क्यों नहीं किया
तो वही है
डाला था मैंने इसमें भाई ये जो इवेंट है इसमें ये बढ़िया बोलते हैं मजा आता है
Are you pulling my leg? What sort of book can remain popular for 100?
The Legend of Antara is popular to this very day, isn't it?
अभी तो इवेंट से भी तो मिलेगा
story like that is still being shared. Then Tales of Shariar must be.
Even if that is the case, I really don't carry that book here in my store.
What?
ये वाला बुक काम आएगा नहीं जो वेपन मिल रहा है इवेंट में
इवेंट का मैं देखना पड़ेगा अभी तक इवेंट किया नहीं ना क्योंकि तू तो जानता ही है
बताता हूं एक बुक है एनर्जी रिचार्ज है उसमें
Wait,
Catalyst
I heard an antique seller on the other end of Treasure Street. I mean, it is a book from 100 years ago.
पैसे पढ़ना पड़ेगा पैसे
Why don't you try asking for it there?
Tales of Shariar is considered an
देखो मैं स्क्रीनशॉट भेज देता हूं अगर तुमने इवेंट नहीं किया ना
work of literature be forgot, traveler. Kale, I'm going to get to the bottom of this.
Within 6 seconds from normal attack.
You asked me why I'm scared of Madame
Just call.
Farazan,
लेके
right?
छुपा लिया और लेफ्ट
It's
कर
not
गया
because I don't. It's because I'm afraid of that ancient language she researches. Because I can barely
मैंने
understand
भेज दिया
any
है
of
उसमें.
it. What if she uses ancient text as teaching? Even so, what if researchers from 100 years ago like to use ancient languages and
आ तो क्या वापस से खेलने पापा जी लेफ्ट गए फिर से तो आ गया
भाई मेरे नोलैट का भाई क्रिट डैमेज इतना गंदा है ना.
I never thought this book would ever get sold.
तुमने अपने उसमें प्रोफाइल में क्यों नहीं लगा रखा नोलैट?
क्या हुआ प्रोफाइल में? अरे कोपियम बिल्ड है लगाने को क्या ही बोलेगा. वो बिल्ड अच्छा है वही मैं लगाया था अभी तक.
अरे सही तो है भाई. और क्या चाहिए उसका बोल?
कितना 96 पे 250 ये अच्छा है कुछ भी
96 में 250 अच्छा नहीं है.
अच्छा नहीं है ना.
अच्छा और जो मैं बताऊं मेरा कितना चल रहा है?
कितना मेरा 4 पीस हमारा शशि एक तो मेरे को वो बता.
नहीं नहीं नहीं
तो फिर बात मत कर.
एम्बलम है एम्बलम.
एम्बलम क्यों चला रहा है उसमें काम ही नहीं आएगा.
तो अब कुछ है ही नहीं तो मैं क्या करूं?
तो वही तो फार्म करना है. ऊपर से फुल सोलर का ये आ गया कौन सा सेट फार्म करना करके.
कौन सा?
गोल्डन ट्रूप करके एक सेट है वो फार्म करना है. अभी वाला जो महाराष्ट्र से वाला है ना उसमें जो वाइट वाला ये आता है ना आर्टिफैक्ट वो चाहिए. और मेरा उसका भी बिल्ड रेडी हो गया.
अच्छा वो वाला आर्टिफैक्ट चाहिए.
हाँ वो वाला
उसमें क्रीट डैमेज क्रिएट मैं बताता हूं जो गोल्डन करके है ना.
गोल्डन
फ्लावर मिला है मेरे को. एक फ्लावर मिला है उसका. एक ब्लू में मेरा पास उसका अच्छा सा सैंड तो है भी नहीं. गॉबलेट में हाइड्रो
तेरे को सैंड में एचपी परसेंटेज दो ना.
Seriously?
एचपी
No
नहीं
one told me that this book was anything special when I
इतना
first.
सेक्सी सा वो है ना सर्कलेट. पर उसमें वो जाएगा ही नहीं मुझे पता है.
This book was sold together with a whole bunch of antique furniture.
मेरे पास सर्कलेट
I didn't even notice it
का है.
initially.
क्रेट पे कितना में जाएगा?
Otherwise, the mantra would have come knocking. Wait.
पर
This
उसमें
book
मुझे पता है
actually
क्रिट
worth a
डैमेज
lot?
हो जाएगा 100%.
That's impossible. No matter how
इतना
strict the
भरोसा है मुझे.
academia
देख रहे
was,
हो?
there's no way Tales of Shariar could have fallen into such a state.
I do remember a passerby skimming through
और
the
तो
book a few
गॉबलेट में तो हो
days
जाएगा ना.
ago.
हाइड्रो
However,
डैमेज.
He sighed.
हाइड्रो डैमेज का है ही नहीं मेरे पास. आते थे सारे हाइड्रो डैमेज के ही निकलते हैं.
Given the quality of Tales of Shariar, he should have been entranced after a single
फ्लावर
plan.
मेरे
I'm
में
sorry.
क्रिट डैमेज क्रिएट है 10% बोलो. देख रहे हो 14% क्रिट डैमेज 10% क्रिट.
Between Ali and Aziz. Also, why is there no mention of the desert gem at all? And a new character is introduced
उसके
with
लिए
no
3 तो हो ही
foreshadowing
गया.
at all? Also,
मुझे क्या करना है? अच्छा इवेंट को दे
is this really
18
the
से
Tales of
20.
Shariar I know?
18
well, that
से 20
passerby
के बीच
reacted in much the
18.
same way. It's Madar from the
पूरे
cafe
दिन
over
में.
there. You know, the fellow who spends all day telling
जो
the
लाइट का तो है ही.
legend of
उसको तो पता ही नहीं चला
Antara,
आते
since
फिर
that's
कौन सा
also
दो.
Let's go
तब
ask
तक
around
फार्म
at
ना
the
हो.
cafe. Huh?
उसका वो पता चला लेवल अप के लिए.
वो ये होना वाला 4.2 पे नया नया आएगा. जो भी है 4.2 है. पर जो आर्टिफैक्ट है वो ये वाला 4.2 पे कोई आर्टिफैक्ट डोमेन नहीं आने वाला. तो फिर यही फार्म करना. मेरे पे 4 पीस हो गया. मेरा से फ्लावर ऑफ सेट है. बाकी सब ऑन सेट मिला. समझ रहे? हाइड्रो डैमेज ऑन सेट है और क्रिट डैमेज. अरे दुख नहीं है यार. मैं क्या मेरे लिए खुद दुख है.
हाइड्रो डैमेज बोनस कसम से मिलता ही नहीं पता है.
वही तो बोला. मेरे पे उसमें इलेक्ट्रो डैमेज है, क्रायो है, हाइड्रो है, पायरो है, एलिमेंटल मास्टर. ये सब 5 ऑन सेट मिला है.
मेरे पास वो है. मेरे पास एचपी तक है.
Yes.
एचपी पर है. वो एक क्रायो मिला है वो भी बेकार है. क्रायो उसमें है ही नहीं क्रिट डैमेज की.
It's fine. I'm used to it more or less.
ऑन सेट तो वो अगर उसके ऑन सेट में तो कुछ है ही नहीं. 3 चीजें मेरे पास टोटल और कुछ नहीं. गॉबलेट मिला है 3 एनिमल डैमेज, अटैक परसेंटेज और एचपी परसेंटेज का. और सर्कलेट में मेरे को क्रिट रेट, एचपी परसेंटेज और एचपी परसेंटेज.
He said that Tales of Shariar was written
कुछ
by
नहीं
his
मिला भाई.
master's
और
master.
जो वो जो
He
नॉल
also
उसको
said that
लगता
this
है
great
अपना है उसको
grandmaster was an academia
करेक्टर को.
read. He wrote 4 volumes back then, and the reviews just got
इसमें तो
better.
फ्लावर प्लूम सैंड कुछ भी नहीं मिला भाई.
Why doesn't anyone know about Tales of Shariar?
Oh, it's hard to
एक
tell
मेरे
when
को
it comes to
गॉबलेट
trends.
HP देना है
One
ना
day
नहीं
everyone likes
गॉबलेट तो हो
stories
जाएगा ना
like
हाइड्रो
that,
डैमेज
and the
Corporate
next day
hydro
the
damage रहेगा,
taste
science
changed
पे HP रहेगा,
completely.
circlet पे
लाइट को
Instead of writing a proper
हाँ वही है.
ending, this great grandmaster kept trying to tap into popular trends.
अभी तो वही
He
चला रहा
added a
है
lot of tropes. Then, starting from the 5th volume,
How could that be? Then what happened to Tales of Shariar in the end?
in the end,
अच्छा चार्ज में नहीं है
there's no ending. The great grandmaster tried to write a few more volumes, following
से
what he
तो
got
फिर मेरा
so
वो हो जाएगा ना रेजिन उसमें
weary,
लगाऊंगा
he
सारे
stopped writing altogether and
Domain
focused
में.
on his research instead.
What? So there's no ending?
क्योंकि
The readers didn't
कल
care?
का बचेगा मेरा रेजिन कल का और
By that
संडे
time,
का रेजिन
only
मेरा
a
जाएगा
very
उसके वेपन
small
में
number of
लाइट के
people were reading Tales of
बुलेट का
Shariar.
वेपन पे अच्छा प्रोटोटाइप एम्बर.
Anyway,
हाँ
my master probably exaggerated.
मेरे को यही करना है.
How could a work possibly have
उसके
been
में
that
उसको
Wriotheseley का
लेवल
talent
उसका
farm
डाल
करना.
दूंगा 90 डाल के
The
खत्म
only
कर
tangible thing my great
ठीक
grandmaster
है
left
और
is the
जो
original
बाकी
draft
जिनका
of
मेरा
Legend
रेजिन
of
को वो सारे
Antara.
डोमेन में जाएगा इस बार
He
या
also
तो मैं
left
उसके
behind
उसका
many
टैलेंट भी करना है
theses
अभी तो
from his research
उसका
phase.
टैलेंट क्या करना है नो लाइट
When my master talked about Legend
जो
of
पहला वाला
Antara,
है
he'd even
नॉर्मल
quote
अटैक है
from
ना
his
उसको जितना हाई कर सकता है हाई कर 9 तक कर सकता है. मैंने खुद 9 मारा है. आफ्ताब भी 9 कर रहा है.
हाँ और
उसका ई पे ज्यादा
उसके बाद?
फोकस मत कर. उसका अल्ट को चाहिए तो तू 8 कर सकता है. मैंने 966 किया ठीक है. मेरे को उसके ऊपर करने का मन नहीं कर
Master
रहा.
is a much better storyteller than me.
9666 ठीक है ना
Even when we're
उतना
telling
966 कर रहा है तो
about
968
Antara,
कर
he's always
सकता
able to
मैक्स.
draw in a huge crowd.
968
ये मैक्स कर सकता है. अगर जो क्राउन करना है उसको अगर तेरे को मन कर रहा है क्राउन यूज कर रहा है तो नॉर्मल अटैक पे कर दे.
But even he won't recite
नहीं
Tales
वो
of
नहीं मतलब
Shariar
लाइक
due to its
वो क्या है
ever-changing
मतलब
writing
कितना
style
रख
and
सकता हूँ
its
मैं
lack of an ending.
देख जो भी है नॉर्मल
966
अटैक
ठीक रहेगा
966 मैंने किया है तो
नहीं
968
मेरे हिसाब से बताता हूँ
967 हाँ 66 ठीक रहेगा. 967 भी चलेगा.
So, Antara's
हाँ तो
story is the
966
one that
करेगा
lasted through the years.
Well,
Oh, hello,
not
ऐसा
even
कुछ नहीं है.
sages
967
can
करो.
definitively ascertain the quality of something like a
गलत
story.
बात.
In the
हाँ तुम्हें
end,
डोमेन करना पड़ता है
only
पता है। मैं
time
अभी
can
इतने दिन तक
separate
पता मैं
the
रेजिन मोड आता है
classics
उसका
from the
करेक्ट है कि उसके
fads.
लिए
अच्छा वो फार्म कर सी हॉर्स.
हाँ हो गया मतलब 40 तक फार्म हो चुका है
बढ़िया बढ़िया.
Madame Farazan? It's been
बस
100
इस स्टार
years.
के कलेक्ट करने हैं सबके
Perhaps
वन
some
से
things
2
I
वन
once
से हो जाएगा
believed to be great
155 चाहिए
aren't so.
और एक बल में कितना 79 मिलता है तो 2 बल में मानते हुए चलो 1 कुछ मिल जाएगा ओ
First, no matter how
आए
good those
178
stories
तक
are, I can't improve my skills if I can't
पूरा
bring
मैच
myself to
लगा
read them in
पूरा
the first
लगा
place.
के बैठा हूँ मैं
Huh. That is true. Readers' interest in trends of a time are not things that are so easily predicted. What was popular 100 years ago could be completely forgotten in modern times. And yet, 100
अभी
years
तो
as
मैं
far as
अपना
history is
क्या बोलते
concerned
हैं
is but a blink of
बाउंटी
an eye.
और वो
If
सब
Tales
मैं
of
उसका कर
Shariar
रहा हूँ
hadn't
इनर
chased
जुमा
after
का
trends
वहाँ
and
से मैं
instead
वो
stuck
निकाल
to
दूँ
its original style from start to finish, it
कंपास
might have
निकल
stood
जाना एक
some
बार वहाँ
chance
से
of gaining renewed popularity. Huh?
ये
तो वहाँ
जापानीज
का मैं
वाला
फिर
बंदा.
Conversation just got
90 तक कर देगा
I don't
हाँ
really get what you're talking about, but it does sound
चलो फिर अब मैं
sensible.
जाके आता है मम्मी के साथ
Looks like I
अगर
also
How
आएगा
unseemly.
बाजार जाने
I
क्या?
almost got carried away because of a single bug.
मेरे को खुद जाना है
Well
अभी.
then, we should get back to the
Walmart
matter of our
जाना.
teaching material. It looks like we can't use
नवरात्रि के
Tales
लिए
of
थोड़ा सामान
Shariar
लेके
now.
आना. मैं अभी स्ट्रीम बंद कर देगा. ये फारजान का हैंगआउट होता.
It's much too old.
हाँ नहीं मतलब अच्छा तुम जाओगे मतलब कब आओगे फिर
मैं भी खुद जाऊंगा फिर बाद में रात को आऊंगा.
नहीं रात को फिर मैं नहीं आएगा फिर कल ही मिलेंगे
तो फिर कल मिलता.
Then we'll use that book as our
क्योंकि
teaching
रात को
material.
फिर थोड़ा सा पढ़ूंगा ना
Think about
कल
it.
क्या है? कल सैटरडे है ना. कल परसों तो स्ट्रीम नहीं रहेगा.
As long as we come up with an
कल और
appropriate
परसों नहीं
course
रहेगा
name, we should
परसों तो वैसे भी नहीं करोगे
It sounds like
नवरात्रि
you've
के
dealt
इससे
with academia before. Let's go with that. Now then,
कल शायद स्ट्रीम
let's return
करूंगा.
to the
अगर
book
करूंगा तो
finger
फिर
in a bit
दोपहर
and
का
buy
एक
the
ऐसा
latest
1.5 घंटा
volume
ऐसा
of
वैसे
this
करता
Oni
रहूंगा.
Puzo
कल तो
for
सबसे
college.
पहले मेरा पेपर
But
देके
if
आने
I
के बाद
wish
मेरा
to
तो हाई
use it as
डब्ल्यूएस
teaching
सबसे
material,
पहले मेरा
ना कल वीसी पे तो रहेगा. मैं वीसी पे तो कुछ नहीं.
Speaking of which,
वीसी में
other
होना
than
फिर
third eye perception and illusory
क्योंकि
manner,
सबसे पहले मैं
तेरे को पता है अलो मैं अकेला किया था. समझ ले कितना बोर हुआ था.
such things as
एक बंदा नहीं था. एक बंदा नहीं था
I still can't
जो
help
वीसी आ सकता था. एक बंदा नहीं था.
and the
आधा
author
फिर
has
तो पेपर
written
चले
all
शायद
the things that I
सबका
only
पेपर
dare
चला.
whisper
उसका
into
कुछ
a
नहीं है.
tree hollow.
ना असर आता है, ना स्लेट आता है, ना सोर आता है, आफ्ताब तो क्या ही बोलेगा भाई, वो तो रहने दो, धोखा देता हो।
use dark history to refer to awkward
नहीं
or
भाई अभी सुबह
embarrassing
था वो,
memories.
सुबह था या दिन में था वो?
Slang that was
अभी
invented
आया
last
था,
summer. If
ठीक है?
हाँ मैं देख के गया था।
आया था?
Changes
क्या हाल
in the
चाल
past
पूछा फिर
100
बाकी?
years, it might make it easier to get these books approved at
वो फोन का बात कर रहा अभी तक।
Apparently, in their youth, some people used to imagine themselves as someone burdened by fate,
अब
fighting
देखते कल
against the
शाम को ही आएगा
world,
मैं।
etc.
मतलब 3
But as they
बजे
grew
तक तो
older, they started to
मैं
become
कल स्ट्रीम करूंगा, कल परसों स्ट्रीम करूंगा, बट क्या ऐसा
Some
टाइम
would
पे
वrite
करूंगा
those
जब
fantasies into
क्या
novels,
जिसमें
while
आवाज ना
others
आए
would
करके सैटरडे संडे
entrust
बहुत आवाज
such
रहता
tales to Tree Hollow.
वो तो
है। ऊपर से संडे को तो क्या ही बोलेगा, संडे को तो पता नहीं स्ट्रीम होगा कि नहीं करेगी।
Why so suddenly?
संडे को तो कोई नहीं, मंडे को फिर पुल मारने के लिए।
अच्छा जी,
हम पुल लिखने आएंगे, हम इनवाइट करेंगे सबको।
इनवाइट करेंगे ऑन स्ट्रीम कौन करेगा? ना ऑफ स्ट्रीम करेंगे।
ऑन स्ट्रीम में मजा आएगा ना, पुलिंग फॉर वेंटी और राइजेसली दोनों साथ में पुल।
हो गया इवेंट, आई मीन क्या ये हो गया, हैंगआउट खत्म।
पता चलेगा उसका।
मेरा इसका रेशो बताओ अभी ठीक चल रहा है क्या हुटाओ का?
तो पास से पता चलेगा क्या?
हुटाओ का?
उसकी आईडी होगी तो
हुटाओ का रेशो देखना मेरा। अभी रुको, अभी मत देखना, मैंने स्ट्रीम बंद किया है तुम्हारा, एक मिनट वापस खोले दो।
एक 10 पुल पे 5 स्टार होना चाहिए, मेरे को नहीं लग रहा
यार क्या आया।
क्यों इतना जल्दी पीटी बन गई क्या?
63 का
अब मेरा होता हुआ ये लग देखना एक बार।
तूने अप भी डाला है या फिर अपडेट हो गया है?
नहीं अपडेट पहले ही कर दिया था मैंने, थोड़ा सा बढ़ाया मैंने।
सेविंग पॉइंट जानते फिर दिखता। सेविंग पॉइंट क्या है बता लो, स्ट्रीम देख के नहीं बताने का। और तू बता
क्या
सेविंग पॉइंट क्या होता है?
किसका सेविंग पॉइंट?
मेरा सेविंग पॉइंट क्या रहता है?
वही जाते हो भाई तुम, क्या बोलते हो?
ओ हिडन रखा तूने, हिडन
हिडन नहीं होगा,
हिडन रखा है,
हिडन नहीं होगा।
स्ट्रीम देख ले, हिडन है।
कैपिटल जे।
स्ट्रीम देख ले, ऑन स्ट्रीम
नहीं भाई
देख
सो
हिडन है,
सो है
हिडन है।
खराब भी हो जाएगा। 5
अच्छा
मिनट ठीक हो
अच्छा,
जाएगा।
देख रहा 5 मिनट के बाद। रुक 1 मिनट गाइस, पानी भर के
मैं वेंटी निकाल लेगा।
ये सोल वेंटी निकालेगा,
मैं वेंटी निकालेगा, उसके बाद वो निकालेगा रेडन, और फिर 4.8 के आसपास इसको निकालेगा वापस से हाइड्रो आर्कोन।
इतना वेट करेगा तू?
सारे आर्कोन हो जाएंगे, और ये नहीं किया तो नहीं हो पाएगा कुछ भी, वेंटी भी चला जाएगा हाथ से।
अच्छा तू वेंटी निकाला
चाहिए तो अभी के टाइम पे फॉसिलर्स को छोड़ना पड़ेगा, और अर्ली
यार
रीजन जल्दी
नहीं।
आता है, फर्स्ट रीजन जल्दी आता है। और
फॉसिलर को तो एक बार वो कर सकता है, ट्राई कर सकता है।
अब वेंटी जाएगा तो 1 साल बाद आएगा।
कोई ना 1 साल वेट कर लेंगे हम।
नहीं करेगा।
क्या हुआ?
उससे अच्छा कि 3-4 महीना वेट करके फॉसिलर से निकाल लेंगे।
कितने मिनट बाद जो ठीक होता है वो?
क्या देख रहा है? स्ट्रीम देख रहा है क्या?
हां
पीटी देखता है।
वो आया
पुल मारा क्या?
पीटी देख रहा है।
3666 कितने पुल का होगा?
2 पीटी 20 पुल का तो है।
20 30
50 हो गया, 55 50
40 हुआ, 50 हुआ, ये
62 का।
और कितनी खुशी मिलेगी ना
वेंटी निकल जाए। हाँ जिया निकलेगा, बहुत खुशी हुआ था मेरे को सही में, जिया बहुत निकले, बहुत खुश हुआ था मैं। ये एक और निकल गया ना, ये एक और निकल गया ना भाई, सीधा ये क्राउन जाएगा। इसके लिए फाउंड भी रेडी है, सीधा बस क्लिक करने का। अरे एक कम हो ही नहीं सकता भाई, ऐसा कट करो इसको। जरा प्रैक्टिस की तरह, प्रैक्टिस एडवोकेशन प्रैक्टिस एक है ना। देख रहे हैं एकदम रेडी है, C3 आते ही सीधा क्राउन मार देगा, एकदम एक क्लिक कर देगा बस।
अभी मार दो,
नहीं मारेगा, C3 पे मारेगा मैं। अगर ये C6 मार, ये C6 हो गया ना भाई, तो फिर मैं दिया मेन बन जाएगा, ये सब पे लेवल अप करने लग जाएगा मैं। ये लेवल 1 पे रखा क्योंकि इसका कुछ काम नहीं है। मेन तो ये 2 है, अगर ये C6 हो गई ना तो इसको भी क्राउन मार देना। मैं बता रहा है बट
PC
सही में
क्यों आया?
दिया चाहिए मेरे को। अगर 50-50 आया दिया तो
और कुछ नहीं चाहिए मेरे को।
नहीं, बाकी कुछ भी मिला तो भी ठीक है मेरे को। कुछ
ठीक है,
देख
दिया दो या
सब
डिलीट
कैरेक्टर
दो
से
या
बिल्ड है।
उसको
देख
delete दो।
ये सब बिल्ड है। चीची भी मिला तो भी ठीक है। C4 क्या करता है वैसे? हैव देयर अटैक डिक्रीज, ये तो बहुत बढ़िया है।
तुम पहले वो बुक देख के बताओ कहीं काम आएगा नहीं आएगा पहले।
कौन सा बुक बे?
कैटलिस्ट जो मैंने उसमें भेजा है, डिस्कॉर्ड में भेजा है।
मैं डिस्कॉर्ड पे काय भेज रहा?
तो कहाँ भेजूं फिर मैं?
इधर देखना है, स्ट्रीम पे देख लेंगे।
देखो दिख रहा है क्या तुम्हारा? दिखाएगा नहीं ना वो, इवेंट जाना पड़ेगा पहले तुम्हें।
गो टू क्वेस्ट पे क्या? अरे यार
तुम्हें क्या लगता है मैंने ऐसा क्यों भेजाऊंगा फिर?
Within 6 seconds after normal or charge attack hits an opponent, normal attack damage will be increased by 8% and charge attack damage will be increased by 6%, max 3 stacks. 8 3s are कितना होता है? 24 और ये 18 हैं। This effect can be triggered once every 0.3 seconds. Energy recharge है, normal और charge पे based है। ये इस पे काम आएगा। ये अपना कैटलिस्ट है ना? कैटलिस्ट पे स्विच करो। नाहिदा पे काम नहीं आएगा। वॉन्डरर पे आ सकता है। नॉर्मल और चार्ज अटैक इस पे एप्लीकेबल नहीं है। इस पे भी नहीं है, इस पे भी नहीं है। यनफे पे आएगा, हेजो पे आएगा, बस इन पे ही आएगा। 1 2 3 और राइसली 4।
राइसली में आएगा?
राइसली पे आएगा।
इसमें क्यों आएगा?
इसमें नहीं आएगा, राइसली पे आएगा। इसका जो मेन डैमेज है वो चार्ज अटैक ही है ना। इसका जो मेन डैमेज है वो चार्ज अटैक है। बट राइसली का जो मेन है वो पहला नॉर्मल पंचेस मारता है फिर चार्ज अटैक मारता है ना। तो नॉर्मल अटैक भी काम
मेरा कैरेक्टर
देखते हैं।
彼女らとは良い関係を築く
यार देखो फॉर्म को क्यों रख दिया देख रहे।
कौन स्टेशन पे क्या जा रहा है? सिन्ना बार स्पिंडल एक कोपियम है अभी इसको। और 90 मार भी
90 मार देंगे। अभी मैं वेपन नहीं मारूंगा ना इसके।
क्या? हाँ ये क्या देख रहा हूँ? हाँ अगर स्काईवर्ड हार फटा देगा ना भाई खत्म हो गया तो ठीक है। ये जो ये क्रेट है ना ये कुछ
भाई कुछ है ही नहीं पता। तभी तो उसको ऐसा दे रखा है मैंने।
नहीं ये बढ़िया है,
डैमेज मिल रहा है।
ये बढ़िया है।
इसके एनर्जी रिचार्ज बनाने के लिए ना भाई कितना डोमेन।
तो मैं प्राइमोडियल कब आया बे?
भगवान जाने। वो गेंशिन वालों ने गिफ्ट दिया मेरे को तो ये गन निकालने की खुशी
पे 30,000 इसकी तो ठीक है। ईएम का है भाई क्यों का है? ओके ये पीस डिलीट मार दे ठीक है। ये जो है ना ये डिलीट मार दे।
कौन सा प्लूम या फ्लावर?
ये फेदर ये ना फेदर।
तुम देखो प्लूम पता है दोनों डिफेंस में ना जाके दोनों उसमें गया वो।
हाँ मैं वही तो बोला इससे डिलीट मार दे।
मैं इतना खुश हुआ था ना इसमें देख के ये।
तो उसको डिलीट मार दे, जरूरत नहीं है। ठीक है बैलेंस्ड है। नहीं ये बैलेंस्ड है, ये डिलीट मार दे। ये मेरे पास देख मेरा बेस्ट सर्कलेट एम्बलेम पे 18% क्रिट डैमेज है, वो भी डिफेंस गया ज्यादा। तेरा 24 गया है। ठीक है ओके
रुक जा अभी 10 मिनट
ना मैं भी निकल लेगा। 10 मिनट में मैं भी निकल लेगा।
चलो फिर मैं जा रहा हूं बाय बाय।
अरे 10 मिनट के मैं निकल देगा अभी क्यों जा रहा है? देख क्या कर तू चाहे तो सैंड्स बदल सकता है। लो लोग चला गया। चलो ठीक
決して傷つけたりしないように
हाँ
गाइस आज के लिए इतना ही है, मिलते हैं अगली स्ट्रीम पे। तब तक के लिए बाय बाय, ध्यान रखना अपना।